Ladies and gentlemen, boys and ghouls, it's time for below grade level. Watch out, we're right behind you.
Hello and welcome to Below Grade Level, the show where we take the books that we read as children and read them as adults and ruin them. And boy, are we ruining this book. And we're going to continue ruining it for another couple episodes probably, because fuck, it's long. I'm one of your hosts, Jonathan Eaton, and with me as always is Bekah Eaton.
Hello.
And Chris Zaleski.
Hello.
It's a Tuesday night. How are you guys doing?
Well, dogs are barking in the background,
I can hear them.
So it's a normal Tuesday night.
A normal Tuesday.
I am very tired.
Yes. Bekah didn't get a lot of sleep last night. But you know what'll wake you
Having
up?
some insomnia lately.
Ghost minutia.
Great. Ghost minutia. Oh my god.
Joining us on this episode is a special guest, one of our very favorite people, someone that we've done a lot of podcasts with.
Of the Sketchy Show fame.
Of the Sketchy Show fame and of Below Grade Level fame.
Which we don't do credits on the Sketchy Show.
No, because the Sketchy
no one has
Show
any idea who we are.
No, it's created by a robot, so there you go. Anyway, please welcome John Walker.
Hello, everybody, listeners
Hello.
of the world. Well, you just said ghost minutia. Before we started recording, you promised ghost nonsense.
It's both.
Okay, if it was just going to be minutia, I was going to walk because I didn't come here for minutia.
I hope
came here
there's
for
more nonsense than minutia.
Yeah.
It's been leaning hard into the minutia these last few chapters.
I feel, yeah, it really has been.
It started so strong.
There's a good helping of nonsense, but it really is. I can guarantee you, John, there's going to be at least a couple moments in each chapter that you're going to be like, wait, what the fuck? Because that's been most of this book so far.
We were talking a bit about this before the podcast, but there has to be something coming up, and it has to be soon, where her brother can see her in a dream.
Yes, I feel like we're rapidly getting there.
Because I also just saw on the last page where Peter the ghost guide says, "Don't get lost in anybody's nightmare." Like, it has to be fucking happening.
It's gonna happen. So that's a good segue to just do a little previously.
And he's like, he's like explaining how do you get into a dream? Or she asks.
And was his
and
way
he's
of explaining
like, you'll figure it out. He's such a terrible guy.
Yeah, his way of explaining things is basically just like, well, it's really easy because you can do this or you can't. I don't know. He's really
Yeah.
You just
I'm
do
here
it.
to help you. You'll figure it out on your own. Bye.
Just do it. That's that.
No wonder he's not in heaven.
This character, Ghost Peter, is basically just like, no. So it's like a ghost. It's the embodiment of a shrug. I'm not even going to do like a whole recap because we're on part 6 of this book, so I'm just going to do a previously on. And previously on Remember Me. Actually, before we even do that, John.
Yes.
I know you've been on a bunch of these episodes, and we always ask you the same question, just different book. Did you ever read Christopher Pike? Are you familiar with him?
You know, I feel like I think he may have written some ostensibly children's literature books. I feel like I've seen that name either on there's something that name is familiar to me from, and I hope it's not just Star Trek, because wasn't there a Captain Pike on Star Trek?
Yeah, Captain Pike, yeah.
That might be what I'm thinking of. I'm constantly mixing up this show and Star Trek. So but
the similarities are boundless.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I would have to look. But there's a possibility. But what I remember about this is when you started posting these episodes, I do recall the general consensus seemed to be that this book started off strong. So I'm sad to hear that this far in you all seem like you've lost a lot of your patience with this book.
Yeah,
it's just a lot of repetition.
Yeah, the same thing. It's funny because the exact same thing happened way, way, way back when we read Party Games, the R.L. Stine Fear Street book Party Games, which started out very strongly. We couldn't get enough of it, and then it wore out its welcome. And I did like this is so much crazier than Fear Street.
Yeah.
So at least it has that going for it. This is a lot more like very adult themes for a book for teenagers that 100% children read. Like me and Christy talked about this last time, but like I was not a teenager when I read Christopher Pike books. I was definitely like 7th, 8th grade.
If your parents knew what was in this, they would not have bought it for you.
No. Literally, okay, so like last time, one of the things that happened was Shari, our ghost protagonist, and Peter, the ghost guide, were like hitching a ride in the back of Garrett's pickup truck. Garrett's the alcoholic detective who is investigating her death, and he took a detour into like Skid Row of LA to go and like spy on his estranged daughter who is a heroin addict. Like, and they like Shari like followed the daughter into a hotel room where she shot up heroin in so much detail that this book was basically like, hey kids, have you wondered how to do heroin? Here's how you do it if you have it. And then in a heroin daze, she saw Shari, and Peter revealed that like people in altered states can see ghosts, which I'm sure is going to come up again. But yeah, other than that, last time
I'm sorry. You were still talking about last time.
I think the only other thing that happened last time, like Joe, the occult friend, held another seance.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say.
And Shari couldn't. Shari wanted to manipulate the seance and couldn't because she's an idiot and like cannot get how to be a ghost. So she made Peter manipulate it for her, but he was like interrupted by, I think, a demon or the shadow or whatever.
Oh yeah, there's like some shadowy monster
There's a
thingy
monster
that they've seen a couple times.
Yeah. And it said like they were doing a Ouija board and it was like Shari's in hell.
And we still don't know when the monster went to the bathroom.
Yet to be determined.
It's a callback to how much we've spent on who went to the bathroom when. My God. Well, hang on, let me take a drink.
What hath we wrought?
John's gonna find out.
Yes.
John, do you have any other burning below grade level questions before we dive into this?
No, I know the drill. I mean, I think that one thing I've learned is the sooner we get into it, the sooner we can get out of it. So let's jump in.
Well, if your visions of us vigorously drinking on the Zoom call before we start gives any indication.
Well, I got up to get more wine
right
before we started recording, and I brought the bottle over, so I'm expecting.
Yeah,
I'm tucking in
wise.
for a long haul with this. But no, I have to say,
like
I'm going to
3
try.
more bottles.
I'm going to try to retain all the details you've shared with me, but I cannot promise I won't have about 10 questions per chapter. But
it's totally fine. There's way too many moving pieces at this point. We are. I don't know, we're more than halfway through, but we've got a lot left of this book.
I'm a drunk adult and I can't keep track of all this shit. How the hell is a preteen supposed to?
I don't know. I guess they're sober. Guess. Let's do this chapter. Hang on, I gotta do Roman numerals. 12.
yes,
Chapter 12.
checks out.
Figured that one out all by myself. I had a hard time getting back to my neighborhood because I have to hitch rides. I haven't learned to apparate yet. It was late, and there weren't many trucks on the road that I could catch a ride with. At least not many going my way. I waited.
Does it have to be a truck? Like, I guess she was bumping her knee on the bench, and she can't just like grab the bumper of a car.
I was gonna say she can't like get in a car.
Yeah, I was thinking just like grab it and hang on, but she still feels pain.
So unless it was like a station wagon with like a luggage rack, that she could just jump on top. Yeah. Okay. There weren't a lot of trucks she could catch a ride with. At least not many going my way. I waited at a couple of big intersections, and I did manage to get aboard a flatbed, but it ended up turning away from the coast. Chris is making fun of me because I can't.
No.
It's a dark print of it's a bad scan.
It's a bad scan, guys. And I had to wait till it stopped at a light to hop off. If anything, my paranoia about hurting myself was increasing. You're dead, Shari. Like, I don't know. If I was dead and I stubbed my toe and it hurt, I feel like. And then like another
That'd be
ghost.
So disappointing.
But if another
to
ghost
find out
showed
you
up
still
and was
hurt,
like,
yeah, that would suck.
Yeah.
I mean, that's
find out
like
you
the
still
one
hurt-
thing you're like, well, at least no more of that, And it's like, nope.
Yeah.
But
You still get headaches.
But then, if another ghost showed up and was like, "It only hurts because you think it does. It doesn't actually hurt."
He literally gave her ghost Tylenol.
He did literally give her ghost Tylenol.
At that point, I'd move on.
That's the thing. Yeah.
She just needs immersion therapy. Like, she needs to chop off her hand and be like, I'm fine. I'm a ghost.
Seriously, though, yeah. If I died and I
was murdered. Oh, that sucks.
Yeah,
for
if
other
I died
people.
and I was like murdered or whatever, or there was like unfinished shit. I don't know. At a certain, like maybe a couple hours into being dead, I'd just be like, well, I am dead, so nothing matters.
Yeah.
I have
I'm
unfinished
dead.
business now.
Right.
I'm too lazy.
I was about to say, and I'm not doing anything about it. So why would I suddenly be this super motivated dead version of me?
Do you know how many side quests in how many video games I still have left? The fuck. All right. If anything, my paranoia about hurting myself was increasing. Finally, though, I found a truck that took me practically to my doorstep. It was a dump truck. I had to sit in the back with the garbage. It was fortunate my nose was no longer working on the terrestrial plane, but you still feel pain.
But she's losing her sense of smell.
Oh my God. I had no difficulty entering my house. The front door was wide open. My father was loading a couple of suitcases into his white Cadillac, which was parked in the driveway. My bright red Ferrari must still be in the garage, I thought sadly. I remembered Jimmy's remark to Amanda about my parents going away for a few days. I followed my dad back into the house, getting out of the way before he could close the door on me. I didn't need my nose to tell me he had been drinking. Ooh, uh-oh.
His family.
His face had that puffy red look that took a solid bout with the bottle to develop. I
feel attacked.
Your children shouldn't think that about you. The uncapped quart of expensive scotch was sitting on the kitchen table. Did more than the uncapped quart.
How big is the quart?
A quart? It's like that.
Is
a quart?
that just like?
Yeah, it's like a.
Is this a quart?
It's like a decent sized bottle, I guess. I don't think.
Is this a quart?
I think that's about right. I mean, I think that a quart shouldn't
so.
sound too large. You know what I mean? Like it's not. It's
A
Not
fifth.
that big.
it's like a half of a half gallon, isn't it? Isn't that the premise there?
half of a half. So a quarter gallon.
I think it is. But let me.
Is that why it's called a quart?
Oh my God.
Oh my God, you guys!
Cut this out. We all sound so stupid.
Guys, I was today years old when I found that out.
Oh my God. TIL.
Well, I was trying to think in relation to what I used to drink when I started drinking, and I just remembered it was a pint. Like, me and my friend at the time would get a pint of rum.
And that's
and
like
just,
that's basically
drink
like the
rum.
little
It's like the little.
the
it's
ones
all
you would like
little
put
and
in your
flat.
like inside pocket in your jacket.
I'm a girl. We don't have inside pockets and jackets.
So two
but it would
pints
probably
is a
fit
quart
there.
for the record. So if you can imagine that,
Two
that's
pints.
like
So
that's
two
like
of
a
those.
decent sized bottle of.
So we drank like a pint of scotch. I mean, that's it's a decent amount. That would give him a puffy red look.
If he'd finished it.
I
My
think
mother-
a Foster's can is a quart.
A what?
A Foster's can.
Oh, really? My mother was holding a tiny blue pill
Ooh.
as my dad sat down
Why
at
is
the
she
table
taking
beside her.
Viagra?
Yeah. What's going on?
Stop.
This is 1989, so it's probably a Quaalude.
No. Good. Just a Quaalude.
Just a Quaalude to wash it down with some scotch.
All I know about Quaaludes is that they're called Quaaludes.
They're like really crazy sedatives.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're like
I think
super
they're
muscle relaxers.
basically like medical grade. No one should be just walking around in life with that much of a sedative.
And that
Yeah.
the band The Tubes had a character named Quaalude.
Like
Okay.
I know horse tranquilizer is ketamine, right?
Yes.
I don't know.
I know
Yeah,
it's
no,
not.
ketamine is a horse tranquilizer.
So I know Quaaludes aren't ketamine because otherwise they would just be the same thing because they don't make Quaaludes anymore.
Also known as Special K for the kids at home.
Special K. But yeah, like I feel like they kind of do the same thing. Maybe I just know that they don't make Quaaludes anymore.
But they were known as Special Quay.
And and everyone who took them were called Quakers.
All right. So moving on. A prescription bottle stood beside the toaster. My mom had on a baggy nightgown she might have worn 18 years ago when she was pregnant with me. The whole situation could not have been more depressing.
Jesus Christ.
We can leave first thing in the morning, my dad said, refilling a shot glass. I figure we'll head north.
Just keep on
So
driving.
they don't even know where they're going to go. They're just packing bags like, we'll go north.
Figured out
You
where
gotta
we
just
are.
pick a
We
direction
killed her.
sometimes, you know.
I'll figure out where we are when I sober up.
We have to leave before they pin it on us.
Why north? My mom asked wearily, her jawbone visible as she swallowed her pill with the aid of a glass of water. I would not have believed anyone could lose so much weight in so few days. I doubt she'd eaten a thing since her last bite of the chocolate cake I had wanted to throw out. Do you want to
Call
head
back.
south? My dad asked. That's fine with me. We could drive all the way to Acapulco if you like.
Does that
Fun
place exist?
vacation. Huh?
Because all I know about Acapulco is that it's mentioned in many different forms of media, and as far as I'm concerned, it's not real.
Yeah, it's just Narnia.
It's
We'll
Mexican
drive all the
Narnia.
way to Narnia. My mother smiled faintly. Remember when we went there a couple summers ago and Shari made us stay 3 extra days because she had a crush on that lifeguard? I hadn't realized my parents knew about my infatuation
When
with
she
the
was-
handsome 25-year-old Mexican
When
who
she-
had watched over our hotel swimming pool.
When she was 15. Yeah,
She could have been 16, but still.
still.
Well, she's 18 now.
Don't let your
Couple of
daughter
summers
run
ago
shit.
would be 16.
Don't let your
Yeah.
daughter run shit.
Right? Like my parents would never.
Yeah, if you're like a 16-year-old, what are they, Ted Cruz?
We need to stay.
Topical.
My parents would be like,
Topical.
no, you're a child. You
Yeah.
don't get to decide
Yeah.
anything.
But I like that 25-year-old man.
I think that's the kind of thing writers think sounds like a fun detail. Like when they have characters talking back and forth. Because I think about this sometimes just in relation to any writing. Writers reveal what they think is a normal exchange between two people. And they
for
reveal
sure.
just how fucked up their understanding of human interaction is sometimes. Because like whenever if you try to write, if you're thinking like, I'm going to write a mundane moment that the viewer will recognize. Like that, you're kind of tipping your hand as you do that. Like, or is this a relatable relationship at all? So yeah, I think they just, maybe this was a time when people talked about things differently. But yeah, even when I was a kid, it's not like you would say to your mom, Mom, I've got a crush on this adult. Can we extend our vacation?
I have a crush on this guy that's 9 years older
Yeah.
than me.
Can
Can
we-
you pay for 3 more days
Yeah.
in Mexico?
Can we stay for 3 more days? So I can fuck him? Like,
I accidentally read ahead. We buried the lead.
uh-oh.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
I should have been embarrassed, but I wasn't. I was glad they had some knowledge of my personal life. I would not be. My father nodded and tilted his shot glass to his lips. She had a lot of love in her, he said.
That was the part I read accidentally.
It's a euphemism for sure. I wonder if that young man is still working there. Probably not. My mother put a hand to her head,
This
massaging her
stayed
temple.
because the mom liked them.
Losing whatever smile she had. Maybe we should go north.
You already said that.
My father swallowed his whiskey. All right, he said. I couldn't stand it. I had to get out of the kitchen. I went searching for Jimmy. I was surprised to find him at the top of the stairs kissing Amanda goodnight outside my bedroom door. She was sleeping over. She was going to sleep in my bed. Try to get some rest, she said as they parted. She had on a plain white bathrobe.
So like it's just like a common thing for rich white people to go on vacation after a funeral, right?
After their daughter dies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's just tradition. On a plain white bathrobe. Had it been one of mine, I think I would have freaked out altogether. What? Like what? We'll have a good day tomorrow together, she said. Jimmy wore blue jeans, no shirt. He was developing a slouch. He looked like he could have used a shot of scotch.
What?
She's judging her parents for, judging her dad for the scotch, but Jimmy needs some scotch. Lose
What
those
should we-
jeans, Jimmy.
What should we do? He asked. Also, I just want to have a disclaimer. The house next to mine is getting worked on all the time.
Uh-oh.
So that might show
Bang,
up
bang,
in the
bang.
recording. Yeah.
Oh, I don't hear it yet.
It's nighttime.
Yeah.
Oh, boy.
What should we do? He asked. Amanda smiled and ruffled his hair. It doesn't matter. Jimmy looked past his girlfriend into my room. We should have gone to that meeting. She hugged him. It was stupid. Forget about it. Someone there probably made it say those things.
Oh, we shouldn't have.
I think it was the
meeting?
seance.
Oh.
That's the seance. You know, that
meeting of the
that
seance
business
club.
meeting with the Ouija board.
He jumped slightly at the suggestion. He held her at arm's length. Do you honestly think one of them killed her, Amanda? She lowered her
why
eyes.
Why does he sound
Wilford
like...
Brimley.
Oh, right.
Because he's a diabetic.
It leans so Arthur Morgan that I keep forgetting.
That's my boy.
Oh, shit. Well, now I'm just going to do Arthur Morgan.
Please do.
Boy.
That's my boy. I ain't a nice man.
But he's so nice.
She lowered her eyes. Please don't ask me that, Jimmy. Jimmy, I thought.
She's more.
Only I called him that.
That can't be true. That can't be true.
Wait, what?
I went back downstairs. I had to wait for Jimmy to fall asleep. The door to the garage.
Call him James?
Jim.
I don't remember that. Maybe Jim? I don't fucking know.
They all called him "Hey you" with the insulin.
He's probably a Jimbo.
Jimbo? He
yeah.
sounds like a Jimbo.
The door to the garage lay slightly ajar. The light was on. Sucking in my breath that I didn't need, I squeezed through. Someone had rolled down the window on the driver's side of my Ferrari. I climbed inside and rested my hands on the steering wheel. My birthday present. Some people would have given their right arms for a car like this. Well, I thought, I had certainly paid my fair share. I
No.
must have dozed because ghosts sleep. It was a bad habit that I had probably carried with me to the grave. Excuse me. I had always loved a nap. When I came to, it was dark. I had a moment of panic when I thought I had been locked in the garage for the weekend, but the door to the house I quickly saw was open farther than before. I climbed out of the Ferrari and went inside. The clock in the kitchen said almost 2:15. Upstairs, Jimmy's door was the only one not closed all the way. I counted my blessings. If it had been shut, I would have been out of business for the night.
What?
Shari.
She's gonna go ghost rape her brother.
God.
She's gonna pull the old Dan Aykroyd on him.
That's what her
Yeah.
unfinished business is.
With the rest of forever ahead of me, I shouldn't have been concerned about wasting this opportunity to blow my brother. This one night.
Yet I was. And it wasn't just because I was worried that the shadow would get to me before I could communicate with my brother. I just had this feeling that I had to hurry. Dreams were not my expertise, or my area of expertise. I knew that people's eyelids fluttered when they had them and that they supposedly aided in the release of stress. That was it. I certainly didn't know how to climb into
Did she
one.
never have a dream in her entire life?
They were not her expertise, Bekah. Did you not hear her?
She was
I've
bought.
heard of dreams.
She was bought a Ferrari. She's not the type of person who dreams.
Yeah, she wants for
You
nothing other
dream
than
on
to be
purpose?
alive. Only when she died did she actually want something she didn't have.
Well, on the subject of dreams, she continues, though. She says, I certainly didn't know how to climb into one. Jimmy was sleeping on his back, the sheet tangled around his waist, his chest bare. Sitting on the bed by his side, I silently
We both
cursed
just
Peter.
leaned in to see if it actually said that, and it did. We both were like, his chest.
I feel like I barely leaned because I was like, I'm sure it says that she's already described his bare chest in bed before.
All right, sorry, go on.
I silently cursed Peter for deserting me in my hour of need. I had no idea what to do next. Yet Peter had said
Double teamed him.
I should be able to figure it out. I decided to experiment. I reached out and touched Jimmy's hands. The brush of mental dullness caught me by surprise. What the fuck does that sentence mean?
She is an expert in mental dullness.
Okay.
Yeah.
Caught
You
by-
know, that is her expertise.
I guess I just don't know
actually.
how something has to be so dull to surprise you.
Yeah. I like how badly... that was written so badly that you were knocked out of your rhythm.
Oh my god!
I just love that it was the third paragraph
Yeah.
when you finally said, what the fuck?
But also, dullness, surprising dullness. It was not strong, and it stopped the instant I let go of Jimmy. But it gave me a rush of hope. I assumed it must have been caused by a partial merger with Jimmy's unconscious mind. I couldn't think of another explanation. I sat back to wait for his eyelids to begin to flutter. I figured he should be in the midst of a full-fledged dream, if you know what I mean, before I made a determined effort to say hello. A half hour must have gone by before his long black lashes began to twitch. I immediately reached for his hands. The wave of dullness returned, but this time it was mixed with a sinking sensation. The feeling was far from pleasant. Internally, I could sense Jimmy's presence, although he seemed light years away. I was caught between two universes, split in two, and the desire to be whole again wrenched at my heart. His world was so painful. But I refused to let go. I wanted to get closer to him. I wanted to pull him up. Instinctively, I moved my hands up, his arms towards his face. And the light years changed to miles, and then to mere feet. Yes, my hands moved up his body and turned into feet. Spreading my fingers over the crown of his head, I glimpsed him wandering lost along an endless corridor of shadows, and I felt the same weight on top of my chest that I had on the floor of Beth's condo when my so-called friends had tried to bury me before my time.
Yeah, she was the one, by the way, being seanced.
Oh, okay.
Or one of the two being seanced at the party, and they were like, pretend you're dead.
I don't want to read this.
I thought literally her friends had tried to bury her. Yeah. So I'm glad you clarified.
You're like, get this bitch in the ground.
What's funny is I wasn't going to question that. I was like, yeah, okay, her friends tried to bury her.
Sure.
This checks with this story.
I mean,
at
this point,
don't you already want to kill her?
They were doing two different kinds of seances, and the second one just felt like that scene from Empire Records.
Yes.
Where
they throw
she had to pretend that she was actually
funeral.
dead. Yeah.
The bedroom vanished. The new background was thick with smoke and dust, devoid of color or definition. He was dressed in black. His eyes were open. He was looking at me. No, he was looking for me. And he couldn't find me. Tears ran over his sunken cheeks and then fell, mingling with the pale clouds that dogged his weary feet. Jimmy!
It's weirdly poetic.
Yeah.
Okay, it's just poetic. I just have not...
Yeah,
We forgot to warn you about that.
Yeah. Jimmy! I called to him. I'm here, Jimmy! Over here! He didn't look up. There was a veil between us, made impenetrable by his sorrow. I didn't want to let go, but I had to. I simply could not bear it. I felt for my invisible hands and yanked them upward. I landed face down across his chest. Ugh. I landed face down across his chest as he turned uneasily in his bed. Oh, Jimmy, I whispered, brushing his cheek and kissing him full on the lips, with tongue and everything.
With ghost tongue.
Ghost tongue. Maybe we were still partially connected. Ugh. I could feel the dampness of his skin, and it was no dream. There was a window downstairs in the laundry room that had been left open. I used it to climb outside. It was almost a relief,
That's
I thought.
a leap.
That my...
For all of us.
Wow. But it's like she's like rubbing his face and feeling his dampness. Oh, there was a window downstairs and I hopped out. You know, it's like...
So anyway,
I feel like she yada something there.
I cheesed it right out of there.
Ghost feet, don't fail me now.
What's all this ectoplasm in my bed?
It was almost a relief, I thought, as did we, that my parents had closed their door. I doubted that I could stand to be that close again to grief caused by me. But I was frustrated by what little I had accomplished. I did not leave the vicinity of my house right away. Crossing the backyard, I noticed another window open. It was on the second story, and it led to my bedroom. A peek behind Amanda's cool gray eyes, I thought, might be educational. Okay, now you're just being invasive.
Oh, also, John, she's obsessed with eye color.
Yeah, I forgot about that. What are her eyes, green?
They're green, and for some reason
Brother
she
thought they were
argues with her
brown.
brother. Her brother says they're brown, and she says they're green. It seems like something you wouldn't need to argue about.
He's probably colorblind
and
as
she
well as
also
diabetic.
judges everyone else for not having green eyes.
Yeah.
Everyone else's eyes is like dull blue, dull brown.
But Amanda's are like gray and steely and cold. Like
Oh
her
yeah,
heart.
she's like obsessed with like Amanda's weird like cool gaze.
Gray eyes sound fucking awesome.
Yeah, they do.
I wish my eyes were gray.
A peek behind Amanda's cool gray eyes, I thought might be educational. I needed a ladder.
Chris, your eyes are brown.
I really needed to get my. Oh my god. I really needed to get my ghostly wings flapping.
What?
I had to settle.
Ghostly wings?
Yeah, you know. I had to settle on a network of ivy.
Yeah,
and
you know, that thing that people say.
Like, you're not an angel.
Ghost wings don't fail me now.
You're not a fucking poet, Christopher Pike.
I had to settle on a network of ivy and the frail wooden framework it entwined to help me up the side of the wall. Being the psychologically inhibited ghost that I was, I expected my support to break beneath my feet with each upward step I took. It was with a sigh of relief that I climbed through the window and plopped down on the floor. Amanda was sleeping snug and secure.
That's like serene and secure.
I wanted to say serene. Sleeping snug and secure beneath the quilt. It's been a while since I couldn't read. Mrs. Parrish had knitted for me on my 15th birthday. Anyway, Chris.
So she's... Hold on. You keep pushing this way too far.
Where's that
You're not
private
blind like me.
education getting you?
You don't need to like
Well,
get
this
close.
page is lighter, so it keeps working out in my favor.
Thank you so much for being on my side
You're welcome.
about... I can't
I
read.
was really accidentally mean earlier because I'm very sleepy.
You're trying to
I'm
make up
for it. Also, just pointing out, she's sleeping under a quilt that her housekeeper knitted for her.
Who is her mother?
Who is her
Who is
her
Amanda's
brother's girlfriend's
Yeah.
mother? Yes.
mother? Amanda's mother is Mrs. Parrish.
Here's
It's all
this is a
starting
very
to make sense to me
classic-
now.
This
Is it?
This is a classic Shari
Ooh, burn.
inconsistent burn, like burn compliment.
Yeah.
I don't know what that's called.
She does this
Like
thing where
compliment.
she verbally dresses somebody down, but then immediately says like why that's hot.
Or the opposite.
Or the
like,
opposite.
It's just
Yeah.
contradictory constantly. So, she looked so beautiful with her long black hair spread over my pillow that I couldn't help but feel disgusted.
Classic Shari.
I waited for a half hour for her eyelids to flutter, as I had with Jimmy. But the best her gorgeous lashes would do was bat every now and then. Maybe she's in love with Amanda. Maybe we're reading this wrong.
Oh, that's why she's jealous.
I finally decided to grab her head and just go for it. Okay.
Christ!
I said that before I read that sentence. My awareness began to alter. It was different this time. There was no crushing grief, no sudden change of location. Slowly, almost imperceptibly, the room around me was overlaid with the faint image of a flat gray landscape riddled with thousands of narrow poles that reached high into the sky.
This is really dangerous because, like, what if you read someone's dreams and they're just like, fuck, I'm glad Sherry's dead. Like, life's gonna be so much easier now.
I'm sure she'll run across that.
I hope so.
As I held tight to Amanda's forehead, the image grew in clarity and depth, and I began to realize that the poles were actually tall steel needles. They glittered bright and hot beneath the light of an unseen sun. There was no feeling associated with the scene. It was simply there, although Amanda was not. I understood I was seeing the landscape through her eyes, despite the fact that I was still aware of the dimensions of my bedroom. One by one, gigantic bubbles of air began to form at the tips of the needles, breaking off and drifting into a hard white sky toward a long translucent pipe which floated miles above the ground, stretching out of sight in both directions.
Am I drunk or does that not make sense?
It's a lot of, I don't know.
It's the most relatable sentence I've ever heard read.
It's really hard to get through. Flowing with a dark, pulsating liquid,
Ew.
the pipe appeared to draw the bubbles toward it. But even though the bubbles bounced harmlessly off the side of the pipe, I sensed they were anxious to get inside it and flow with the liquid. What the
Have you ever tried to write a paragraph where you're trying to describe something you can picture that's kind of like a special effect, and it sounds stupid? You go like, I don't know the right words to use for this. Like, you know, this is what this sounds like to me. And then the bubbles floated towards the pipe, and it's just like, what the hell?
It's so beautiful in my head.
Yeah.
This part is, I think, honestly, this part more than any other single part of this whole book is driving me the most insane. This is fucking...
You're just flowing with a dark pulsating liquid, Jonathan.
Oh, yeah.
You're one of the bubbles trying to get into the pipe. We're all in the pipe with the liquid, and you just wish you were in the pipe with
There are
us.
two kinds
we all
of
came
people.
from needles?
People who are like the
came from
bubbles
needles.
inside the pipe, or people who are
Yeah.
like the bubbles outside the pipe. You could be inside the pipe, or you could be outside the pipe.
Or you get...
Which are you,
What kind of
Jonathan?
bubble are you?
No, let's find out.
Let's flow with the liquid.
I wondered if there was a particular significance for Amanda in the scene, and why, no matter where I looked, there wasn't a trace of color. Maybe because her eyes are so fucking gray. The image started to fade a few minutes later, and a wave of drowsiness began to overcome me. I let go of Amanda's forehead. The night was getting on, I thought. I had other dreams to walk.
Brother.
Jesus Christ. I stood and turned toward the window. I did not kiss her goodbye. Not making any of it up.
Oh, my God.
Do not need to ad-lib
That's
a
the other
thing.
No, I
thing.
know.
We barely need to add anything to this book. It is batshit crazy.
I'm enjoying this a lot more than the last time, I think.
It picked up again.
Yeah.
Honestly.
Ooh.
Gosh, I wonder what was
Ahead.
different.
John, you lucked Well, I was going to say you lucked up, but now I'm not going to say anything.
All right, don't jinx
My
it.
next stop was Daniel's house, also known as Spam, for those that are following along.
Oh, right.
A Hell's Angel unknowingly gave me a ride most of the way there on the back of his Harley Davidson.
That's fucking awesome.
The dude was most gracious. He
What?
knew
Are
Jimi
you
Hendrix's song
fucking Keanu Reeves?
word for word.
The
and
dude
sang
was
several
most
for my
gracious.
personal entertainment. He had a pretty good
We had a most triumphant ride.
I love this book again.
Oh my God.
Oh, I'm sorry, Chris, you have to read that again.
All right. I'm only reading that paragraph
Start at the
as,
yeah.
Ted Theodore Logan.
Oh my God. Fuck. Oh my
My
God.
next stop was Daniel's house. A Hell's Angel unknowingly gave me a ride most of the way there on the back of his Harley Davidson. The dude was most gracious. He knew Jimi Hendrix's songs word for word and sang several for my personal entertainment. He had a pretty good voice. That's a real paragraph in this book. Word for
Wow.
fucking word.
Wow.
So happy.
Oh man. All right. This is good.
This turned my whole day around.
You're getting punchy. That's what happens if you haven't had enough sleep.
Yeah.
The open kitchen window I had used that afternoon to walk in on Daniel and Beth's sexual sitting was still available.
sitting.
I hoisted myself inside without difficulty and headed upstairs. Daniel had his door shut, however. I was about to leave when his mom got up for a drink of water and stopped to have a peek in at him,
Ew. Why?
as moms are wont to do.
To
Can I
their
tell you-
18-year-old sons.
Can I tell you a quick story
Yes.
about me and my high school boyfriend? He was probably 17 at the time.
Mm-hmm.
We were not allowed in his room, obviously.
Mm.
He had the stomach flu and was like vomiting and who knows what else. So he was incredibly, visibly ill.
Yeah.
He could not leave
gross.
his bed. He
Yeah.
was ill and disgusting. And I came over to visit him because I'm very sweet.
Uh-huh.
So at that one instance, I was allowed in his room, and he was like under the covers in bed because he's fucking sick with the fucking stomach flu. And I was sitting on top of the bed, and we were just watching TV. His mother crawled on her belly up the stairs. You could see the top of the stairs from his bedroom door, which was wide open.
I've heard this story.
We looked out the doorway and saw her crawling on her belly up the stairs to look at us. And yeah, it was
Nothing weird about
Where did
that.
I leave off?
And he was just like, "Mom, what are you doing?" And she just like jumped up and was like, "What?" Like that was normal and fine, and it was just like, I don't know,
What
She
was
wanted to
that?
make sure
just
you weren't-
checking in, goodbye,
she
and
wanted to
like
make sure
ran away.
You weren't,
Like,
blowing her flu-riddled son.
yes. She just like got up and left like it was fucking normal, and it was
Moms be crazy.
insane.
Was I not walking upright on the stairs? That is so weird.
Hang on. Was I crawling
on
again?
my belly like a snake up the stairs.
Was I slithering again?
You know,
So weird.
I was just
Bye,
thinking
see you
about
later.
snakes, and it must have just gotten in my head. Sorry, kids.
I just wanted to see the world from their point of
Yeah.
view. Anyway, have fun watching Jackass or whatever it was.
Definitely not Jackass. Who do you think I am?
No, I was trying to think of the time period.
Stopping was the worst thing for me because, like, I smell bacon right now, and I'm pretty sure my mom made biscuits and gravy, and my dad just texted me, "Can you eat if your mom brings you a plate?"
Yes.
But like the whole last page you read, I barely paid attention because the whole time I was just smelling and going like, and I texted my mom, was just like, "Are you seriously making this right now?" Okay. All right. I'm sure she would have been shocked to know she had just let her offspring's supposed love into his bed, but I did not enter the room without first checking that there was an open window I could jump out in the event she closed the door on me.
First of all, bitch, you're not his love.
Right.
He dumped
Which
you.
she ended up doing.
As you died.
Yeah.
Daniel lay in the center of his bed with his arms and legs wrapped around a big stuffed teddy bear.
Oh my god. What the fuck?
What is this book?
What in the fuck?
How many times has he prematurely ejaculated on that bear?
Ew.
I was gonna say something gross about the bear and then I didn't, but then you said
Mr. Fluffy!
No, I don't.
No, the teddy bear's name is Shari.
I know. I was just thinking, do we have to get so blue? And then here I am about to get totally into the weeds of blueness. But honestly, if it's on the teddy bear and he's by himself, can it be premature?
Good point.
That teddy bear doesn't know.
Very true.
Only the bear can be the arbiter of that.
He can just go at his own pace.
That's what I'm saying. If you're, I don't
Like
think
I came exactly when I wanted to.
Yeah, I mean, I guess you can have an
On to Mr.
expectation
Snuffles.
of what you are about to do, and then you can, you could fall short of your own expectations, I guess, and it could be premature.
Here's the real question: does the bear have boobs?
Yeah,
His name is Mr.
right.
Fluffy, and he doesn't judge. Okay.
he doesn't judge.
All right, I will not ad-lib any of this because I think it's going to get insane.
Oh my god. Oh, I think so too.
Arms and legs wrapped around a big stuffed teddy bear. I laughed, thinking the poor boy must be in desperate need of affection. As I made my way toward his bed, his eyelids were twitching. I didn't wait. I grabbed his head and dived in. I probably should have gone slower. His bedroom instantly vanished and was replaced by his dream bedroom. This one had a naked blonde with Beth's chest and my face lounging on a circular waterbed.
Wait, is
A
Beth
silver
blonde?
tray.
Is it a different girl with Beth's boobs, or is she blonde? I don't remember. It's just a weird thing to say.
I don't
remember
remember
either.
the color of Beth's hair, but I'm pretty sure Shari is blonde.
Okay.
So
like Shari.
So it's like Shari's head on Beth's body?
If I stop every sentence, we're never going to get through this. I'm sorry. Go on.
no,
This one had a naked blonde with Beth's chest and my face lounging on a circular waterbed.
Wow.
That's such a great sentence.
Oh,
A silver
my God.
tray stocked with caviar and champagne sat
What?
beside it.
Just like
Hundreds
all
of
teenage
li-
boys dream of.
Yeah.
Daniel is basic.
Hundreds of lights were on, and the ceiling was all mirrored.
He's basic.
Better to see you with, my dear, I thought.
Oh my
Or
God.
was it Daniel saying it in response to the girl's question? He stood to the side of the bed with his mouth hanging open and his eyes wide. He had on a full black wetsuit and flippers.
What the fuck?
If only I'd brought Freud along for the ride. I love you, Danny boy, the girl on the bed crooned, shifting provocatively on top of the satin sheets. It pissed me off that she sounded just like Beth. I mean, if he was... Page turned. Going to steal my mouth, why didn't he take my voice as well?
So I guess it is her head or face or whatever and Beth's body.
Oh my god.
What the
Wait.
fuck is with the
Oh
wetsuit?
my God.
What the fuck?
I don't know, but it's going to get weirder.
Oh my god.
Because it's a dream, Jonathan, and dreams are weird.
Oh, full of symbolism.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Meanwhile, I just dream about going to work and then I wake up and have to go to work.
Oh my god. Wow.
But like dreaming about like a blonde with big boobs on a waterbed. This guy is so lame, you know. Like
Yeah.
All right.
Wait, like and caviar?
Yeah.
Has he ever had caviar? I've never
That
had
is the
caviar.
height of decadence.
It's like-
Caviar and mirrors on the ceiling.
He's got a giant teddy bear
I'm in Vegas and I've got a hooker.
And he's got caviar
Height of
dreams.
decadence.
Isn't that what they used to
Is
say
biscuits
on
and bacon gravy.
Lifestyles of the Rich and Famous? That wasn't the phrase caviar dreams on there somehow?
Something in caviar dreams.
Caviar dreams.
It's like caviar something and champagne something else.
champagne.
Or champagne something
Champagne
and
supernova.
caviar.
Champagne
Yeah.
supernovas
idea what you're
and
talking about.
caviar dreams.
Champagne supernova and caviar wonder
No,
Balls.
I remember it. Champagne wishes and caviar dreams.
What the fuck does that mean?
That was on. It was on that show. Robin Leach would. That's what I think. That's
Robin Leach.
I'm
yes.
Robin Leach.
Robin Leach.
Champagne
There
wishes
is
and
this
caviar
guy who
dreams.
auditioned for something at work in the last year. I've shown this to. Actually, I've shown this to. Might have shown this to all three of you. But
Yes.
the guy who did the just waking up from his nap
Yes.
thing, and he sounds exactly like Robin Leach, and I couldn't stop fucking laughing when it happened. When he's like, "I just woke up from my nap."
Time to make some money.
I feel like I'm in Saskatoon.
It's like it's Monday morning here in Saskatoon.
Sorry. No one
I'm
knows
going
what
to
this is,
place
but
a
it's
quick
amazing.
trade on Facebook.
And then
Also,
fall
not a
asleep
real
sitting
place
up.
in my mind.
Oh my god. Saskatoon and
Yeah,
Acapulco.
it's not real.
And
They don't exist.
what's that place that Bugs Bunny was always trying to get to?
Saskatchewan.
Albuquerque.
Albuquerque.
Oh yeah, Albuquerque. Took a left turn.
No. He took a wrong turn at Albuquerque.
Wait,
He was Pismo Beach. He was trying to find Pismo Beach.
That's also in Clueless, so obviously it's real. The Pismo Beach disaster. That's what they're collecting
Yeah.
all those donations for.
all right.
And Albuquerque's real because it was in Breaking Bad.
Yes, and because I've been there, and I can confirm.
Fuck you, John.
I don't really
It
trust you,
exists.
but if Breaking Bad said it so.
Is it all bleach bypassed?
It's all beautifully photographed. And sometimes the cameras are in really interesting places, like attached to a shovel that's digging a hole or something
you-
like that.
If you go to Albuquerque and you drive around, is Vince Gilligan just like standing on the street corner, like composing a shot?
Yes. All right, so that
anyway.
line. That's right. We none of us wanted to get back to this because of that. If he was
Like
going to
relate us.
steal my mouth,
We're literally about to like dive into a
Oh my
teenage boy's
God.
fuck dream.
yeah.
John Walker just figured it out. We keep interrupting it because we just don't want to
Yeah.
read it.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Makes a lot of sense. Oh my god, I read ahead
Okay,
and we
keep-
were
no, okay,
right.
let's
we
do
were
it.
right to delay
Let's
it.
do it. Let's do it. Let's do it. Oh no.
The guy was disloyal to the
Crying,
core,
why?
as well as being a pervert. He flapped his flippers on the red velvet floor like a fish in heat. Do fish go into heat?
No, they don't. Fish in heat.
They jump up onto land and just flop
The
around.
fish in heat just swims backwards like glub 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 glub.
No,
glub.
he was vigorously swimming upriver to the place where he was spawned.
Oh fuck! I'm sorry. Go on.
I love you,
Learned that from
Marcia.
Magic School Bus.
He said, excited. Who the hell is Marcia? I asked. He heard me. He looked over and almost fainted. Shari, he said, what are you doing here? I strode toward him. What am I doing here? I'm your girlfriend. I pointed to the bed. What's she doing here? Who? Her. He put his hands to his mouth and began to bite his nails. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
I almost made a joke that the rest of the sentence just says, so I won't say anything.
His teeth chattering. His teeth chattering as if he were a cartoon. That's what I was picturing too, and it's so, it's so dumb.
Like corn on the cob.
Yeah.
No, no, God.
He put his hands to his mouth and began to bite his nails, his teeth chattering as if he were a cartoon character. I don't know, he mumbled. He mumbled, I don't know, while his teeth were chattering and he was chewing on his nails. Get rid of her, I ordered, and take off that stupid suit. You look like a senile penguin. He turned to Marcia. Why is it senile? Why is it senile? He turned to
Senile
Marcia.
Penguin was my college punk band.
That's Burgess Meredith. He turned to Marcia. Could you come back later? Later, I yelled. You cheating bastard. Here, I'll tell her myself. Miss, get your tight ass out of this room and never come back. She took the hint, that was not a hint, by the way. She gathered up
Yeah.
her clothes. They were all over the
Very
floor.
real threat.
Her clothes were all over the floor. He had probably torn them off her and hurried from the room. Daniel sat down on the edge of the bed and began to pull off his flippers. Gee, Shari, he said, I didn't know you were coming over. Who's Marcia? I
Golly
demanded.
gee.
Golly gosh, I demanded, sitting beside him.
Jiminy Jillikers.
Gosh and Begorra. He had really fixed the place up since he had been awake. Besides the velvet carpet in the mirrors, there was a plush lavender love seat near the closet and a swirling blue jacuzzi in the corner. There was, in fact, color everywhere. Life. Like in an ordinary dream. As opposed to what's-her-name's dream, right? Because she dreamed in black and white.
Oh, right. Wait, isn't that a thing that some people dream in black and white?
Is it?
And some people dream in color?
They say that everybody dreams in black and white. And then I don't think that's true.
That is incredibly untrue.
Yeah. That's definitely not true.
And also some people can't feel things in their dreams.
Oh, what's that like?
I don't fucking know. I dream like I'm on an astral plane. I don't even understand what it would be like to dream in black and white and not like feel things.
If anything, it's almost more acute because it's just like so, you know what I mean? Like you're so consumed by whatever's happening in a dream.
That would be so incredibly strange because life isn't in black and white. If you were dreaming in black and white, it would be like, am I in fucking Pleasantville?
Yeah.
Like, it's so strange.
I feel all the things that like happen in my dreams because like they're not great.
Yeah.
But like mostly I'm watching it like a movie
You are more passive.
while still feeling everything that happens.
What's that? What?
The sticky shit came off the
Ew.
top of the headphones.
Ew.
I know. I couldn't get it off my hand. It's horrible.
I feel like you were handing me snake skin.
It's really sticky though.
Guys,
Ugh.
we're bringing things out of the dream into our reality.
This is disgusting. It's like sticky foam.
Yeah, I know. It was stuck to my
You're
head.
gonna have a dream about snakes now,
Oh,
Bekah.
fuck. Great. Another night of sleeplessness.
I just wanted to make a joke about Daniel's dream that there was like Shari looked in the other corner and there was a giant stuffed teddy bear with a human vagina.
Good joke, honey.
Thank you. I thought of it a while ago.
Hey, Jonathan, you did it.
I said it. I said it.
You got it in. You got it in when we all still remembered
I
the
got
teddy
it
bear and
in.
everything. Yeah, it's perfect.
Topical.
I thought of a joke a page ago, but I didn't say it fast
Page
enough.
ago.
So
What was
it's
it?
too
Tell
late.
us. Tell us now. We're doing.
No, it's too late.
Mine
the
was
moment's
too
gone.
late. Tell us the joke.
Never too late.
What?
Nothing
So-
Never
matters.
too late for now.
She. What the fuck?
Nope, we didn't make it to the end.
It might have been a couple pages ago.
What was happening?
Wait. Oh.
Oh, okay, you're going back.
Wait. No.
This might be our first one chapter episode. Let's do it, guys.
I'm for it.
It doesn't fucking.
I was just gonna say now we're good, but then I looked at the time.
It doesn't matter. I'm so sorry.
What was your joke? Tell us your joke.
It doesn't matter because I don't remember the line I was going to reference. We just need to move on.
All right, I'm sorry.
It was something about Isaac Hayes.
Isaac Hayes. Okay.
Did someone say children?
She said something
at some
about
point?
sexual sinning or
Yeah.
something, and I was gonna be
yeah.
like, I love that Isaac Hayes song, but I couldn't think of Isaac Hayes' name, and I thought of it like 3 sentences.
Was there
later.
another
It was
name
way
you
too
almost
long.
No,
said?
that's a great joke.
Was there another name that almost came out?
I was thinking Al Green, but
Okay.
I was like, Al Green's not that dirty.
You know who
Who's
else could
the
work?
one who's
Barry
really
White.
dirty? Oh, Barry White. Wait, is he the one that sang "Sexual Healing"?
Who's
See?
saying sexual
Marvin
healing?
Maybe it's good I
Gaye?
didn't say it.
I want to
Barry White's the
Marvin
good
Gaye?
enough.
All
Your
right.
love, babe.
Someone
That's Barry
higher
White.
pitched.
But Barry White's
Isaac Hayes was lower
sexual.
pitched.
That might have been okay. It's for the
Marvin Gaye was
better
sexual
that
healing.
I didn't say it.
Yeah, I was just
because I
Marvin
got
Gaye.
the fucking name wrong.
Yeah.
Marvin Gaye.
Yeah, I'm glad we went back to this.
No, it's good.
Sexual sinning. No, I laughed really hard at sexual sinning. So I'm appreciative to have another joke on
right.
that one.
Can you edit that tag back in and just boom?
Yeah, and be like, and then I said,
Except you won't
Yeah,
say that.
I'm gonna,
I love that Marvin Gaye song.
I'm gonna
Just
edit-
cut it in like I actually said it.
I'll cut it in, but I'm gonna chop it up.
And
So
cut all
it's
this
gonna
out.
be you saying like, "I love that Marvin Gaye song,"
That works for me.
and then we'll all be like, "Good one."
Yeah,
I mean, you know he's not going to do that.
I know.
That would require too much effort.
Honestly,
Yes.
I'm shocked at the amount of editing I did on the last episode,
Yeah.
but that's just because of all the
I
technical.
just confirmed it is Marvin Gaye.
I confirmed that a
Okay.
minute ago.
I think John did that already.
I don't think I was off base
well,
in saying
no,
Isaac
you said
Hayes,
it with
but
a
I am
question mark.
disappointed in
No, I
myself.
said Marvin Gaye, and then I said yes, Marvin Gaye, because I looked it up. But it's not a fight.
I didn't hear the
you
second
can,
part.
We can all.
Are you guys in a fight?
Can we just move on?
You said
we all move
Marvin
on?
Gaye?
And then after that, I said no, definitely Marvin Gaye.
Didn't hear that. I'm deaf as shit, and I apologize.
I don't accept your apology because this is a stupid topic, and I don't care.
Stupid book.
There was, in fact, color everywhere, like in an ordinary dream. She's a cousin of mine visiting from Florida, he said. Whoa!
Oh, no!
So that's how it is in that family.
Wait a minute.
We should have just gone right to that
Hang
instead
on
of
a
having that
second.
whole fucking
Did you have
conversation.
sex with her? He looked guilty. We took a shower together once.
What the fucking what? Again, John, tee me up for a page I don't want to read. God damn it.
Shit.
You took a shower with your cousin? Were you going with me at the time? Wait, is he talking about real life or in a dream?
Well, he's in the dream, but who knows if he's
That's what I mean.
being honest or not, because
Yeah.
it's a fucking dream, so who knows? He's a dirtbag, so I think it's probably real.
Yeah, I thought he meant in a dream, and now I'm
I
thinking.
have a feeling he's like making a real confession in a dreamscape because
yeah, I
boy.
don't know if he knows he's dreaming.
Okay. All right. Were you going with me at the time? He hesitated. No. Liar! It wasn't. Then what are you doing with her now? He appeared confused. He couldn't get his stupid flipper off. It looked like it had melted onto his toes.
Ew.
He finally gave up on it and put his foot back down. Flop. Shari, you're supposed to be dead. Here was my big chance. How did I die? I asked. He scratched his head like a cartoon character, his nails on his scalp sounding like files rubbing against wood. It was getting to be too much. I don't remember, he said. Just my luck. His subconscious was as dumb as his conscious state. Stupid fucking idiot. Yet he had told me something, that he had showered with his cousin. If he'd murdered me, he wouldn't have forgotten.
Or he would have lied. Somebody killed me, I said. He suddenly snapped his fingers. I couldn't believe it when I actually saw an exclamation point zoom off the top of his head like Metal Gear Solid. Blink! I know what happened, he said. You jumped off the balcony. No, I didn't. Yes, you did. I did not. I saw you. I froze. You saw me jump? I asked softly. His face fell. You were lying in a puddle of blood. But before that, what did you see? He lowered his head between his knees, trying to give himself a blowjob. He was having trouble breathing. He began to cry. Oh, Shari, your head. Oh, God.
Oh,
Brains
Shari.
were everywhere.
Isn't that a Steve Perry song?
It's a Steve Perry song.
It is.
Yes.
Can we just have that going
And
under?
it will make rain stop.
That's true. Can we just have
Dan.
it playing low underneath the whole episode?
Yeah. Dan, tell me, what happened?
Crushed, splattered. Oh, Jesus.
What did
Where?
I do? I screamed, reaching out and grabbing his hands. As I did so, his eyes swung toward me, and a look of pure horror filled his face, because I was a ghost, grabbing his hands in a dream. For an instant, I saw everything.
This happens every time, but
Yeah.
there's a point where I don't know. I don't understand words anymore. And usually that happens like later. I think that I'm gonna lock back in. I think it's the dream imagery, that's making it difficult to understand. Like
It's
Yeah, it
Like,
it
what's
already
actually
was so
happening?
insane. Yeah, and then jumping into a bunch of different dreams is not helping.
Yeah, it's not helping.
Right.
Okay.
You picked a great time to join.
I suddenly saw everything from his perspective.
I saw the girl I had found lying on the table in the morgue, minus the green towel that had hidden the worst of the damage. Had I a meal in my stomach and a stomach in my body, I would have vomited. Honestly, I love that sentence.
Yeah.
A meal in my stomach and a stomach in
I
my
a meal
body
in my
is my favorite
All right, don't.
song. I don't know.
No. Don't.
I gave up
So
on
tired of
that
that
one.
joke.
I'm so tired of that
I
joke.
love you. Then I was back in his bedroom, his real bedroom, sitting by his side in the dark as he stirred restlessly in a nightmare I knew intimately. I had accidentally removed my hands from his head. Perhaps it was just as well. I touched my own head gingerly, drawing small comfort from the fact that it appeared to be all in one piece. Shaken, I stood and ran to the
Not
window.
stirred.
I had to get out of that room.
Glad that my eyes were still green.
Joe's was my next stop. I walked the whole way there, hoping the exercise would calm me down.
She's just gonna
quiet
go
my
invade
fears.
everyone's dreams.
Apparently. She's just like fucking Freddy Krugering all of her friends right now.
How fucking long is this night? Jesus Christ.
I guess they live close because she could walk. It didn't help a bit. Joe's mom, Mrs. Fulton, was sitting on the front porch in the dark smoking a cigarette. And Joe's mom is the sister of Amanda's mom.
Yes.
Yeah.
Joe and Amanda are cousins.
And she's a nurse.
She's a nurse.
And she smokes a lot. Okay.
And she's a badass.
She's
Yeah.
my mom.
She's Chris's mom.
Yes. She had probably just gotten off work. She had on her uniform. I estimated the time at about 4:30. The sun would be coming up soon. A newspaper lay across Mrs. Fulton's lap. I could read it without a light, even though she couldn't. Why was she holding it then? The paper was a couple days old.
As an ashtray.
She had it open to page 3. There was a picture of me in the upper right-hand corner. Beneath the headline, "High school senior jumps to her death." They'd plucked the photo right out of my junior year annual. I looked all right. I sat in a chair beside Mrs. Fulton and noticed she was using her cigarette for more than just smoking. Between puffs, she would hold it close to the picture. Either she wanted to burn out my eyes, or else she was trying to get a better look at me. Anyone who's ever smoked a cigarette knows that wouldn't fucking work.
Yeah.
Remembering back to the indifferent tone she had taken with Mrs. Parrish before my funeral, I wondered why she would bother one way or the other. Her hands were trembling slightly, yet her face betrayed no emotion. After a while, she ground out her cigarette and went inside, leaving the paper on the porch chair. Naturally, I followed her.
Naturally.
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 Mrs. Fulton went straight to bed. She didn't even bother to remove her uniform. She just lay on top of the sheets and closed her eyes. I reasoned
Does anyone do that? Does anyone just like...
I mean, if you're drunk enough.
Oh, yeah. I feel like only when I've been super drunk.
Yeah.
And I'll fall asleep for a bit and then...
Or super
Yeah,
tired.
if you're so tired that you're not even like, I'm gonna get ready for bed in a second, but I'm just gonna lay down right now, and then you discover like,
Yeah.
no, you know what? I'm not gonna do
I guess
that.
I haven't
Yeah.
done that
just,
so long.
just gonna rest my eyes.
The
and
first
then you
time
blink
I
and it's 12
ever
hours
got
later.
drunk was at my brother's wedding when I was like, I don't know, 19 or something. Like I didn't drink in high school, but the first time I ever got drunk was at his wedding, and I definitely like fell on my bed in my suit and fell asleep.
I always wake up like in the wee hours, like cold, or that's usually when I end up kind of because you'll be cold if you don't sleep under, or at least I will if I sleep all night without a cover. But for just a little while, you can definitely be tired or drunk enough to just kind of conk out. It's still a strange image.
Well, she's a nurse. She probably just worked a double or something.
Yeah, that's true. Chris, ask your mom.
I reasoned that she had to return to the hospital in a few hours because she hadn't been at the party and couldn't possibly have pushed me from the balcony. If I had, in fact, been pushed, I didn't try to probe her dreams. Joe's door was wide open, which struck me as unusual. Joe normally guarded her privacy vigorously. Entering the room, I found her sleeping with her blanket thrown off, her head buried under her pillow. I had to wait for several minutes until she turned to get even a glimpse of her head, but as I let my fingertips brush close to her hair, I almost passed out. Yet Joe had to be dreaming, I thought. Her eyelids were twitching violently. So I know enough about REM sleep, but not enough to be a good ghost. Moving cautiously, I gently touched the top of her head with my right hand. I was not cautious enough. I fainted and began to dream myself.
What?
Ellipses.
Ghost dream?
A
What
4-dot ellipses.
are the rules?
Well, Joe's
Also, I love
Joe's
her-
into the occult, right? So like maybe she's got some kind of
Yes.
witchy power that she's able to.
I love this image of like Ghost Sherry just like sneaking up on sleeping people and just like snatching their heads in her hands.
And accidentally
Your
falling
dreams
asleep.
are mine.
It's fucked up.
The parlor was dimly lit. Dull, buff-colored curtains had taken the place of the walls.
What color
And
is
if
buff?
I don't know.
Off-white.
Off-white?
Yeah, like a cream.
Okay.
How do you know that?
I'm an artist, motherfucker.
And if I'd looked up, I knew I wouldn't have cared to see the ceiling. What does that mean? The furniture was
That I don't know.
Victorian, old and splintered.
Fuck a ceiling.
And the forlorn statues that haunted the four corners were dismembered remnants from forgotten places.
Oh, fuck. So poetic.
At the far end of the room, propped up in an overstuffed rocking chair in front of a large crystal ball, sat the witch. It was Joe.
We got it.
Clothed in a stained and ragged black gown, an ancient Joe of many wrinkles and aching bones,
Agatha
who had
all
seen
along.
the best years of her life wither away with the burden of the knowledge that she had lost everything of value in her youth. Her expression was a mask of deep secrets, but I recognized it for the lie it was and was not afraid. She knew nothing of significance.
What?
She didn't even remember my name, although I remembered her clearly. She raised a bony finger and bid me approach. I was there to have my fortune read. "Have a seat, child," she said in a tired voice, making an effort at a smile but coming up short. I sat before her on a low brown stool.
That was so anticlimactic. I sat before her on a ... low brown stool.
I had one of those this morning.
I think the dogs have left several of those in the yard.
I'm Gene Belcher
Wow.
in real life.
2 squat red candles stood on either side of her crystal ball, their smoky flames watching each other through a prism of polished glass. Yes, because flames watch each other, you fucking poet. The woman regarded me with flat hazel eyes. "What concerns you?" she asked. I had the question prepared and already knew its answer. It was part of a play. "I want to know if I will live a long and happy life," I said. She thought it was a silly question for one as young as myself. She leaned toward me, and now she smiled. "Yes." "You're sure?" "Yes, child, you have no need to worry." She held out her left hand. $10, please." "Look in your crystal ball," I said. "It is not necessary. I can see your destiny in your face." "But I want you to." She cocked her head to the side. "What is your name?" "My name is not important," I said, doing my best not to sound rude. "No, my name is not important," I said, doing my best not to sound rude. I gestured to her ball. I gestured, I can say that, to her ball, feeling my confidence grow. "I've heard your magic is very powerful." She withdrew her money-seeking hand and nodded.
Why is a dream witch asking for money? And if it's a dream, can't you just be like, "Here's $10"?
Dreams are weird.
Here's 10 dream dollars.
10 dream dollars.
"You have heard correctly." Friends of mine said you told them exactly what was going to happen to them, and it happened. "Who are these people?" she asked. "Just friends. They had great respect for you. You told one of them he would live to an old age and be miserable all his life. And he did."
Awesome. Thanks for the recommendation.
Did we see that happen?
That guy.
Who was that? Who was she talking
No,
about?
for real, I don't know what the fuck is going on. Like this, I have no clue what this is. This is not a callback to anything.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm in new territory. We're all...
You're in new territory. You're as
Well,
lost as we
I
are.
was just wondering if she asked that question during the seance, because that would have been cool, but I don't really think she talked during it. So,
yeah, I don't know.
but I don't know. I'm always drinking when we do this, so I'm fuzzy on the
That
details.
was so long ago, but I don't know, whatever.
She started to get suspicious. "But you are young. How is it that you have old friends?" I shrugged. "I get around. I've met many interesting people. I once knew this extraordinary girl. She was in a state of pure joy all the time." I added, "Pure bliss. She came to you for a reading?" The old lady sat back uneasily. "I remember no such person."
Neither do we.
"I can understand how you might have forgotten. Actually, she wasn't that happy. She was as miserable as my other friend."
I think you were a little off on her reading. Are you sure you don't remember seeing her? No. You gave her a nickname, I said. What nickname? It was... Oh, I've forgotten. It doesn't matter. I pointed to the glass ball again. Please, tell me my fortune. I've already told you. But you haven't looked in the crystal. Come on, I'll pay you double. 20 ghost dollars. Ghost dream dollars. She was undecided. 20 ghost dream dollars was obviously a lot of ghost dream money to her.
Thank you.
What did all your friends come? Why? Why did all your friends come to see me? They didn't. You came to them. Tell me some of their names, she said. What for? They're all dead now. How did they die? She asked. You know, you told them how they would die. They were old like you are. They died of old age. What the fuck is this shit?
Yeah.
What the fuck is this? Like, I get it, like, ooh, dream imagery. But we're like fucking 4 dreams
I know,
in.
this is a lot of dreams.
Well, and she's just bickering with this dream witch.
Fuck. I thought it would
And
be
she's
Joe.
never like displayed enough intelligence to be like making a play here.
Yeah. Okay. She clasped her hands together to keep them from shaking and glanced down at the dry and cracked flesh of her fingers. She was beginning to remember. Who are you? She whispered. I smiled. A friend. She closed her eyes. I've never met you before. Look at the crystal. I put my hand over hers and I squeezed gently. I'll pay you triple. 30 ghost dream dollars. What do you want to know? There was fear in her voice. How I'm going to die. I squeezed harder. Open your eyes, old woman. Look in the crystal. She looked. She had to. I moved my grip on her frail hands to the top of her brittle skull, and I forced her to look. I was through playing with her. I lowered my gaze, and I peered through the other side, seeing her lifeless hazel eyes. Poor imitations of my clear green eyes.
Not ad-libbed.
And her tired, parched mouth pressed to the surface of the ball so tightly that I wondered if she
What,
were
her
able
face
to
is on the
breathe.
ball?
She kissing it? If I wasn't in fact smothering her. What the fucking fuck?
I'm too fucking tired for this.
At least the book got better.
Bring that energy to the performance. I think the next sentence in particular will really work.
God.
I wanted to kill her right then, but I also realized that it would be a mistake to do so before I learned what I had come for. I loosened my grip on her head slightly, expecting her to pull her lips off the glass and catch her breath. It didn't happen that way. Things started to get confused.
Just pushed a witch's face onto a crystal ball.
Kiss the ball!
Kiss the ball!
Suddenly, I couldn't tell what I was holding on to. I worried that I had shifted my hands too far forward. The rough scalp of her sparse hair had disappeared beneath my fingers. Now I was touching glass. I was holding on to the crystal ball. The old woman was inside it. She was dead. I had killed her a long time ago. She was dead and now decayed beyond recognition. Staring into the glass, I saw a white skull that a swarm of insects could have picked clean. But the top of the skull was badly cracked, and somehow that didn't fit. Joe had never been shoved off a balcony. It was I who had died that way. Duh. All of a sudden, I was very afraid and in terrible pain. I couldn't get my hands off the damn ball. Somehow, the candles had become attached to the side of the glass, heating the crystal to an intolerable level, and the flesh of my fingers was melting and sticking, and no matter how hard I pulled, I couldn't get them off.
Ew.
I began to scream. I still didn't know how bad it could get. What? I don't want to read anymore. It's reminding me of Chuck Palahniuk. What happened next?
Chuck Palahniuk's a
It
good
wasn't
writer.
good. You ruined that line.
I'm sorry.
I know Chuck Palahniuk's a good writer.
No,
It's just reminding me of that disgusting
No,
book
yeah,
that you
that
brought
book was-
on our honeymoon. Inexplicably.
Does anybody want a copy
Brought
of Haunted?
Haunted to our honeymoon.
I didn't bring. Did you?
No,
brought
I don't
it.
read
I
to
bought
feel
it.
that way.
We bought it at an airport bookshop. That wasn't.
Okay.
Don't put that on.
Well,
me
there's your first
entirely.
mistake
All
right there.
We forgot to bring books and we had to buy them at the
We forgot to
airport.
bring books
It
on our
was very
honeymoon, so we
expensive.
bought them at the ghost shop. And I was like, Haunted. It's a Chuck Palahniuk book I've never read. And then, Okay, you read Gone Girl on our
I
honeymoon.
know. That was also a weird. I didn't know. I had no fucking clue. I was like, this book's popular. I'll read it.
Becca,
All right.
on our honeymoon, Becca read Gone Girl and I read Haunted by Chuck Palahniuk. And if you haven't read either of those books, you don't know how fucked up our honeymoon was.
So we've now established that you guys are bad at honeymoon.
It was fun, though.
It was a great honeymoon. Yeah. It was awesome. That place,
Okay, so we've now established that you guys are fucked up.
that place doesn't exist anymore,
Yeah, that
so I
place
feel like we
got
might have
torn
been
down.
harbingers.
We probably were bad at honeymoons because that place got torn down. All right. I'll start that paragraph over.
Fuck. Okay.
What happened next? It wasn't good. I began to lurch about the parlor, trying to knock the crystal ball with the old woman's skull inside it out of my dissolving hands. It was almost, but not quite, like burning in hell. To be there, I thought, I would have to be inside the ball.
Don't you love?
I
Don't you
should-
love the idea that like, I think we've run into this before, but like, analogies are supposed to explain something in terms that you can understand. To say this was like burning in hell, it's like,
Yeah.
we all know
Yeah.
what that's like. Thanks for clearing it up.
Picture in your mind's eye burning in hell.
It was like burning in hell, but I was in the ball. Like, nothing she's saying is fucking
oh, yeah.
helping.
Well, this makes
It was
just
a hell
as much
ball.
sense as the fucking pipe with the liquid in it that the needle balloons couldn't get into.
Yeah.
Fucking fuck.
I honestly, still, I would rather be reading this than like who went to the bathroom when. So I'm happier this is happening, but
I mean,
also fuck.
I'm in agony, but this is amazing.
Okay, I should never have considered the possibility. It happened next. I don't know who put me inside. Sorry, it's hard to fucking read these words. I don't know who put me inside. I guess it was myself. Events were unfolding with perverse irony. People had always said that Joe and I look like sisters, and when I had peered through the crystal ball and seen the old face on the other side, it had been like looking into another mirror.
All right, I'm calling it now.
Yeah.
Her dad had an affair with the nurse, and
A Joe's
the
her
nurse
half-sister?
gave birth. Yeah.
Oh. All
All
right.
right, remember this later, because I won't.
I'm gonna
I
write
had
it down
seen-
because I won't either. I'm gonna write down Chris's prediction.
I had seen myself as I would have appeared if I'd lived to an old age. I hadn't lived, though. I was about to ad-lib that. So, for this book, going forward, before you're about to ad-lib, skim forward really fast.
Yeah.
And
And see if
make
they're just
sure
doing it
that
anyway.
the book
Yeah.
isn't about to say that anyway.
That's happened to
Yeah.
me a couple of times. I mean, that like fucking Yoda joke, and then he just made a
Yeah.
Yoda joke, and I was like, oh, okay. Thanks, book.
I hadn't lived, though, and my dream wasn't an ordinary dream a mortal girl could have survived with her sanity intact. I found myself careening wildly around the parlor, surrounded by flames, with my hands locked on top of my cracked skull. The dance went on forever, and a moment. I heard devils applauding. What does that sound like?
I heard devils applauding.
Then I heard Joe cry out to her mother.
Oh, God.
I came to, yeah, I did, on the floor beside Joe's bed. A bundle of typed sheets lay
Typed
scattered around
sheets?
my knees.
Wait, typed sheets?
Oh, okay. I'm sorry.
Sheets
Go
of paper,
on.
yeah.
Oh, yeah, it says typed sheets.
The pages of Peter's
Oh.
story about the girl who could videotape the future. Goosebumps. They had been sitting in a neat pile on Joe's nightstand when I entered the room. Joe must have knocked them down. It couldn't have been me. I was no poltergeist, except I was. And besides, my hands were clamped to the top of my head.
Poltergeists haunt houses, not people, from what I understand from
Yes.
the documentary Poltergeist.
Obviously, there are no rules in this book. I practically had to pry them loose. I thanked God I was awake. You know, God. He just
Capital
either
G,
is or
God.
he isn't, as was stated earlier in the book. Joe was sitting up in bed crying. Her mother was by her side, holding on to her. Joe was close to hysterics. Shari says I killed... Oh, sorry. I forgot Joe's voice. Shari says I killed her, she raved. She blames me for pushing her off the balcony. But I didn't, Mom. I swear I didn't. Joe? She thinks I murdered her. Shh, honey, no. Mrs. Fulton hugged her daughter to her chest. Shari was your friend. She couldn't blame you. She does. She came back to tell me she does. She grabbed my head and tried to stick me in a crystal ball. It was horrible. There was a skull grinning at me and I was burning. Joe, it was only a dream. Only a bad dream. No, it was real.
Are you
She
doing
was
your
really
mother's voice?
here.
Is that what
Yeah.
Mary sounds like?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, no. My mom straight up sounds like Joe, it was only a bad dream. Like, I don't give a fuck.
I saw 1,000
just-
worse things at work today.
Yeah. I've
Fucking
heard.
I don't
just sleep. It's just a
my
fucking
mom-
dream.
My mom's voice can be summed up in, I don't give a fuck, just leave me alone.
Your mom's voice is just like, I could beat you up.
Yeah. Her whole presence
I could
is
beat you up.
Yeah. Your mom is like if like, you know, it's the whole like Ron Swanson like, I know more than you.
Yeah.
Everyone I've ever dated has said they were afraid of her, and I'm just like, she's been nothing but like sweet as hell to you. Like, she's never like spoken in her actual voice to them, and they're just like, I could just tell.
Yeah, we all can tell.
Okay. It's the same woman that said like, yeah, well, you don't have to live here. All right. No, it was real. She was really here. I kept telling her, I didn't kill you. I didn't kill you. I told her 1,000 times. Why wouldn't she listen to me? Her head collapsed on her mother's shoulder and she moaned softly. I wouldn't have hurt her for anything. I loved her.
Well, okay. That's confusing because she did describe some of that dream, but then shit we didn't see at all.
Yeah.
So was she just having a different dream that happened to have similar aspects of it?
I don't know. I
Well,
don't
we
know.
only
I don't know
saw
how
it
the
from the
dreams
ghost
work.
perception.
Yeah, but you'd think she'd see the other dialogue happening in the dream.
I think she was the old lady.
I think she was the
because
old
that's
lady.
how she
yeah.
sees herself.
Yeah, but
But
she wasn't saying all that stuff in the
Yeah,
dream
and-
that Shari saw.
And also, yeah, like
Well-
what was any of that dialogue?
Right.
I think
none
that
of that made any
Sherry's own
sense.
bullshit, like projecting onto it, because obviously she's a troubled young lady.
So they had like shared parts of a dream, but also very separate dreams.
And also, as I predict, they might be sisters.
Yeah.
I wrote it down.
So maybe she wants to fuck her too.
Three-way between Shari and Joe and Jimmy at the end of the book.
Please no.
Oh, in my nightmares.
Sorry, at the end of the third book. I forgot it's a trilogy.
This is
All right.
God.
Fucks the brother in the second book.
Yeah,
fucks
yeah.
the unknown sister in the third one.
So,
John, do-
so in other
do
words,
these next two pages.
This is not even gonna like. I'm not gonna obviously make it to the end of this book with you tonight. But even when you guys get to the end, it's not gonna resolve this story, right?
We don't know because
We don't know if he wrote this with a trilogy in mind
I don't
or
think
if he
he
just
did.
wrote this and made some money and then wrote another one.
when you
It
look at
was
the
like
years,
quite a few years.
Yeah.
Okay.
This was
between the
this was
books.
89, and then number 2 was like 94, and then number 3 was 95. So it smacks of years later, like I'll turn that thing into a
The
trilogy.
second one probably leads into the third one,
Yes.
but I don't
Yeah.
think the first
I think
one
it's a Back to
actually
the
leads
Future
into-
situation.
This one might end like
where
a
they make the
regular
third
book.
one. They make the first
Yeah.
one, and it's
What a great... See, that's a great
thank
analogy.
you so much.
I was thinking Star Wars.
Yeah.
Because he said he planned the trilogy, but he didn't fucking plan it.
He didn't plan anything.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. You're definitely right. Star Wars is a good analogy. Back to the Future, it's a good analogy.
We're all very smart.
We're all Matrix.
Yeah.
Yeah, Matrix.
Yeah.
Matrix even more
First
so, I
one.
think, because it's totally like and Back to the Future in a sense because it's like the second two were totally made back to back, you know, and then the
Yeah,
first
that's
one-
what I was gonna say. That Back to the Future 2 and 3 and Matrix 2 and 3 were both shot simultaneously.
Right.
Yeah.
We have
And
Robert
announced-
fucking Zemeckis to blame for that
Yeah.
whole trend.
Thanks, Robert
Fucking
Zemeckis.
Robert
You
Zemeckis.
fucking piece of
Wait,
shit.
which trilogy?
Back to the Future.
Okay, yeah, fuck you, Robert Zemeckis.
Yeah.
don't
And your
know who
creepy
makes this.
dead-eyed Polar Express eyes.
Ugh.
Oh god.
Okay.
He had a good run
John,
for a
did
little
you-
while there, though. Like before he got.
Oh, he did.
Yeah,
I mean,
he had like a pretty.
Back to the Future. Who Framed Roger Rabbit?
still love him.
Romancing
Oh,
the
yeah.
Stone.
I mean, it's amazing
Oh,
that
I
he
still
made
haven't
that
seen
stuff
that.
before
Yeah.
he decided like that advancing the technology was going to be the thing that he was most obsessed with. So it's
This past
Wait,
weekend,
Jonathan,
Yeah.
I just figured out our movie club episode.
What?
Neither me or Becca have seen Romancing the Stone.
Oh, well, we were.
So
okay.
we have been talking about doing a double feature of War of the Roses and Romancing the Stone. Have you seen either of those, Chris?
Nope.
Okay.
Ooh.
I remember seeing War of the Roses when I was younger. Like, I feel like too young to have watched it, but then I don't have a good idea of when that even was.
And I've never seen it.
And I've never seen Romancing
It's like
the Stone.
along the
so-
same vein, right?
It's both. It's same characters. Or same characters.
It's
same
not the same
actors.
characters, same actors, yeah.
Kathleen Turner and Michael Douglas.
and
Yeah.
Danny
Yeah.
DeVito.
Well, no, I thought the sequel was Jewel of the Nile.
Jewel of the Nile is a sequel to Romancing the Stone. But so
But
it's
War of the Roses is not related.
We're
It's
doing
just
like a
the
spin-
same-
No, War of
okay,
the Roses is
yeah.
like
Well,
a dark
and-
comedy about a couple that's getting a divorce. It's not
Yeah.
like it's not like those other.
Oh, that's upsetting.
But it's like
I remember enjoying it,
No, it is.
although I also remember being definitely too young to have watched it.
But like Kathleen
when I
Turner and
watched
Michael
it.
Douglas,
and I
have
haven't
really,
seen it in a long time.
They have really good chemistry.
Yeah.
Yeah, they really
do.
do.
So
Yeah.
like, I feel like it had to have been a, they did Romancing the Stone, and Where the Roses came later. So it has to have been like, oh, get these two back together.
Yeah.
But
Well, all right. Yeah, Chris should be on the
Yeah.
double
Fuck yeah.
feature.
Let's all get
Yeah.
vaccines and do it.
You want to watch old school
we
Kathleen
could do it like
Turner?
this.
I am there.
Yeah. Old school's Kathleen Turner.
Yeah. I mean, now she
Who
like,
still sounds like an
sounds
80-year-old
and
woman.
looks like a truck driver. and I probably still would. So
We almost did that movie club double feature this past weekend.
Well, we always talk about
always
it
talk
at
about
night.
it.
Like tomorrow we'll do it, and then we're like,
Yeah.
I don't feel like watching 2 movies and recording 2 podcasts in one day.
Yeah.
I just want to play video games and be lazy.
Yeah. It's happened multiple. It's the same reason why the Matrix Bill and Ted thing took us so long to do.
Yeah.
Because we kept thinking of it at night
Well,
when we were like
just
having
need
fun.
to do one movie and podcast one weekend, and
yes.
then another one the
I
next
agree.
weekend.
It got so close to us doing it this past weekend that I wrote a note.
Yeah.
I wrote
to
us
our
a-
future selves in the morning to
I wrote
tell
us
us to do it.
Yeah, a note for our future selves, and the note said Bloody Mary, Screwdriver, Romancing the Stone, War of the Roses, and then in fine print at the bottom, James Bond, because I guess I really wanted to watch a James Bond movie.
I'm calling it now. This is our first 1 chapter episode, isn't it?
What's up?
This is our first 1 chapter
Oh
episode.
my
isn't
god.
it?
No, we've got time. We've got some
How
time.
much time?
Hang on, let me look. Let's see how long this chapter is. It might be a short one. There have been short ones.
Yeah, that's a short
yeah.
chapter.
Oh, all right. That's a short
okay.
one. All right, let's shut the fuck up and
Okay.
just keep reading. All right,
All right.
John,
No.
read the next 2 pages.
Okay, so like these kind of half pages.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mrs. Fulton held her at arm's length, staring into her face. Jo was not calming down. Her nightgown was soaked with sweat. I kept waiting for Mrs. Fulton to say something, to reassure Jo some more, but in the end, all she did was hug her daughter again and say, "You were the lucky one. She knew how you felt." My guilt was a miserable thing.
Boy.
I understood more clearly why Peter had insisted I leave the living alone. I was becoming a nightmare for all of them. I don't know how I could have suspected Jo. But if she hadn't killed me, if none of them had killed me, then that must mean that I had... I couldn't say it. I couldn't even think it. I was standing to leave, to jump out the open window head first if that would have helped to get away from it all, when I heard the desperate cry.
It's not even ad-lib.
I couldn't
not-
even think
I
about jumping out the window head first, so I decided
It's
I
like
might
a-
want to jump out the window
Can
head
a
first.
ghost even think about like ending it? You know what I mean? Like
Wow. Oh my god.
I heard the desperate cry. Chris, give me a desperate cry.
I think I just did when I was laughing.
This is when you say, "Isn't every waking moment a desperate cry?"
Oh my god.
There he goes.
Chris died.
Fuck.
It came to me through my mind, not my ears. It was still loud and clear. Shari! Wait, how does Peter talk? He doesn't talk,
Young Keanu
like
Reeves.
he doesn't talk like that.
or like Chad from SNL.
Okay.
Spicoli.
All right. Shari, help me! It's after me! It was Peter.
Good.
Perfect.
Good. Perfect.
Chapter 13.
Triple bankruptcy.
That's right. I found him not 4 blocks away. So we don't know how far. We just know it wasn't 4 blocks.
Not 4.
Cowering at the end of an alley behind a trash can. His call had led me to him like a cosmic homing beacon. You know, one of those. I had run the whole way.
Yeah.
But when he saw me, he waved frantically for me to stand back. Don't move, he cried. Wait, he cried. Don't move! I froze, knowing he must be talking about the shadow. Yet I saw nothing. He means Alec Baldwin, right?
Alec Baldwin, yeah.
Yeah.
Yet I saw nothing.
I've been thinking of that the whole time.
Even
Earlier in this episode, I was thinking about that, and I was going to say Billy Zane, and then I realized before I even got to say it, I was like, wait, that's the Phantom.
that's the Phantom. Don't mix up your
yes.
phantoms and shadows.
Everyone listening to that knows
Yes.
that.
Hey, Chris.
I bet most people listening watched the
yourself.
Phantom and the Shadow today before they heard this podcast.
Well, yeah, doesn't everybody watch those 2 movies every day?
I usually do. That's why I started.
I do. Yeah.
Actually, every other day I write notes, like about the movie and thoughts.
Yeah.
And then I go back to watching it the next day. Don't move!
Compare and
Don't
contrast.
move! He cried. I froze, knowing he must be talking about the shadow. Yet I saw nothing. Even more important, I sensed nothing. Always before, the shadow had announced its arrival by filling me with dread. Where is it? I whispered.
All right. Sorry to interrupt. She has an advantage here because only the shadow knows what lurks in the hearts of men,
yes.
but not women.
You found a technicality.
All right.
Oh, boy.
So she has an advantage.
Where is it? I whispered. He nodded in the direction of a green garbage bin that stood between us, green like the pretty color of my eyes. Green garbage bin that had stood between us against a grimy brick wall. His eyes wide with fright. I could actually
It's in
hear.
the trash.
Yeah, it's in the trash. Oscar the Grouch.
Alrighty.
Hi, folks. I could actually hear his rapid breathing. You could actually hear it. Like, normally that is something you would hear, right? All right. But there was nothing there.
He doesn't breathe.
Peter? I said. He put his finger to his lips to silence me and began to creep toward the wall that blocked the rear of the alley. He obviously was going to try to make a run for it. And this was a guy who could beam himself to the top of the Himalayas at a moment's notice. What the?
Oh yeah.
The Himalayas.
Himalayas.
Good at the ghost.
Himalayas. This was a guy who could beam himself to the top of the Himalayas at a moment's notice. He was halfway up the wall when I grabbed his foot. That was a mistake. Letting out a yelp, he kicked me in the face and scampered over the wall out of sight. Ew! That's what his yelp sounded like.
What the fuck is happening?
I went after him, clearing the wall with far more ease than he had, because I fucking rock and he sucks. Eat it, Pete. Peter, I cried. It took me less than a block to catch up with him. It amazed me. In real life, he could easily have outrun me.
And as an experienced dead person, he had far more powers to draw on than I had. It was as if he was suddenly handicapped.
Oof.
Would you stop? I said, grabbing hold of him in much the same way he had grabbed me the night after
maybe
my
I'm
flight from the
confused, or maybe I'm
cemetery.
really fucking tired
Yeah.
and a little drunk.
Yeah.
Are they running on top of rooftops now? Did he just run up a wall?
I thought running
They
up
run
walls-
a
yeah.
wall
Clear.
like
Maybe
Spider-Man?
like scaled a wall.
But are they on rooftops or on the ground?
It's not clear.
Doesn't
It's not
fucking
clear.
matter.
It's
It might
clear.
not matter.
I'm thinking of just like a brick wall, like a it's like 8 feet tall.
But who just
No,
has brick walls places? You know,
there's like
you don't see
dumpsters
that.
and shit. That's all
Jonathan's
I'm
talking
thinking.
out of his ass. It is not clear.
Thank you.
You are rightfully confused.
Right.
Would you stop and then grab the flight cemetery? He fought me off. It's coming. No, I said. We've got to keep going. I had said the very I had said the very same words.
When?
I don't know. Leaping onto his back like a monkey, I tried to slow him down. There's nothing there, I yelled. He threw me off, and I landed on my butt on top of a manhole cover. I'm not adding anything. Oh, my God. But a glance over his shoulder made him pause. Where is it? God knows, I replied. He continued to search the street for a full minute. Finally, he drew in a deep breath, and he relaxed. It's gone, he said. It was never there, I said. He looked down at me. How would you know? I knew before. What gives? He turned away. Never mind. I jumped up. No, tell me. Why is it I couldn't see it just now, and why couldn't you see it in the cemetery? He stopped. You don't want to know. Oh, my God, Peter. Why do you call it Alec Baldwin? Is there a different one for each of us? He closed his eyes briefly at my question, and I believed it scared him almost as much as the thing he imagined had been chasing him. Yes, he said, finally. I let go of his arms, and I sat down on the curb. We were near the corner of Baker and 3rd. Baker Street.
Who gives a shit?
Suddenly we care what street corner they're on.
Well, I was just like, how's that Baker Street? How's that song go? What's that song?
Oh, I was just thinking of Careless Whisper.
I'm also thinking of Careless Whisper.
I was thinking of Wayne's World.
No, it's that song Baker Street with the saxophone.
Yeah, all I can think
is Careless Whisper. Help me, Bekah, help me. Baker Street. Baker Street.
Baker Street.
Baker Street.
Baker Street.
Baker Street.
I know a girl who lived on Baker Street.
Wait.
I just remembered
Oh, is that it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, it's going to take a while to get into it.
I feel like it takes a while to get going.
All right. I'll wait, though, because it's good. Oh, yeah.
No. All right. It's not worth it.
Baker Street.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Thank you.
I know it now.
Yeah.
All right.
Jerry Rafferty.
Good radio. A memory of the place tugged at the corner of my mind, but I forced it back. I had more pressing concerns. What is it? I asked. He sat beside me. He wouldn't look at me, only up at the sky. It was as if he wished he could get up there and far from all earthly concerns. I think he just wants to get away from you.
Probably. Although the sun couldn't have been far away, the stars were very bright, the colors pretty. It's the worst thing we could ever have to face, he said. It is ourselves. I don't understand. He smiled at the remark, a weary smile. He could have been running from it since the day he died. I would give you a long, involved explanation if I knew one, Shari. Maybe it would cover up what I don't understand or how I lied to you in the first place. About it in the first place, sorry. Peter! He kept his focus upward. There's a different shadow for each of us. While we live in the world, it is with us all the time. It colors our thoughts, how we feel, how we see others, and even how others see us. But it is not different from us. It is a part of us. It is with us from birth. We simply add to it as we grow.
I fucking hate Peter so much. I hate him. He's the worst character.
Yeah. It is the product of our experience on Earth. It is the sum of our thoughts and feelings. Then why is it so horrible? I asked. It is not horrible in and of itself. It is only horrible to the person it belongs to. When you come face to face with it, you see yourself as you really are. But I wasn't that rotten a person while I was alive, she lied.
Yeah, you were.
I thought of what Daniel had started to tell me before the memory of my cracked head had made him sick. Was I?
Yes.
She's LSP.
No, you were fine. But like most people,
no.
you refuse to accept yourself as fine. In the presence of the shadow, any judgment you hold against yourself is magnified 1,000,000-fold. Is that why I felt such hatred from it when it was near? Yes, he said. But you've said that if I go into the light, I will escape from it. How can I escape from myself? You've asked a question that has many answers. He's the fucking worst. Nothing is straightforward. Even though Alec Baldwin is with you, it is not all of you. It is not what you would call the soul. The true soul is never tainted by what you think or do. When you enter the light, you leave the Alec Baldwin behind.
Imagine, how could you possibly enjoy the joy of heaven carrying such a burden with you? I just leave it behind? Where does it go? Nowhere, he said. What does it do? It waits for you to return for it.
This now.
You mean I pick it up again when I'm reborn? I asked. Like reincarnation? We need not bring religion into this. Reincarnation is a model mortals use to explain the unexplainable. Heaven is another model. Who is to say which is more accurate? As I told you before, reality is so simple there is nothing that can be said about it. But if you wish, you can imagine that the shadow does the... Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
You can imagine that the Alec Baldwin does not wait for your return, and that it does remember everything that has gone before, and that it doesn't let you accept yourself as perfect until you let it. There is truth in that. This is why a child usually cries as soon as it's born. With its first breath, the Alec Baldwin returns. But knowing all this, why does it still terrify you? I'm trying to find my place. Hold on. He lowered his eyes from the sky toward the ground. You saw for yourself, Shari, in the cemetery. The fear it brings is not something you can reason away. It is just there, and you have to run from it. Has it ever caught you? He looked at me. No. No. Then how can you know what would happen if it did? I don't. So it might not imprison me? It might do nothing to me? He shook his head. It would do something. Why do you stay here on Earth where I can keep chasing you? I can't. It's my job.
I gotta make those ghost dollars.
What job is that? I asked. I haven't seen you rush off to smooth anybody's crossing since you've been with me. Tell me the truth, Peter. Are you here because of me?
He stared at me oddly for a moment. Then he rested his head in his hands. No. Why then? I can't tell you why. He's doing the voice from Dracula now.
Yeah. Perfect.
It's Jonathan Harker. He sounded so sad. I didn't have the heart to press him. I switched to a more cheerful subject. What about suicide?
I'm sorry. That wasn't ad-lib. That's in the book.
Yes. His head shot up. What? Suicide, you know, when you kill yourself. I've been in a few of my friends' heads since I saw you last. My voice began to crack. I don't think any of them killed me. Maybe everybody's right. Maybe I jumped, Peter. Shari, that's ridiculous. I've been holding back the tears since I had run from Daniel's bedroom. Oh, now they burst from my eyes like cold rain.
So deep.
It's not. You said yourself you weren't there when I died. You don't know what I did. I don't know what I did. I was upset. I ran to the balcony. All I could remember is thinking how good it would be if I could fly over the ocean and disappear forever. I nodded to myself.
News to us, the reader.
I must have jumped. That's not possible. I hung my head low. A spider was walking toward my foot. I moved. Taking over. Keanu's taking over the narration. I moved my shoe to kill him. Then I decided to let him live, for all it mattered. I couldn't have heard it if I had jumped up and down on it 100 times.
Right.
I had no say in anything anymore. It's more than possible, I muttered. It is likely. Garrett doesn't think so. I got up. Garrett's just doing his job. I was wrong about him. He's a good detective. And if he hasn't been able to find my murderer by now, then it's because there isn't one.
All of one day.
Yeah, right?
You didn't jump, Shari. You keep saying that. How do you know? He looked at me again in that odd way he had a few seconds ago. But this time a faint smile played across his lips. I couldn't understand the reason for it, or for his next remark.
Oh, Jesus Christ. I was glad when I got you for my lab partner in biology.
What? You sounded Scottish at the end of that sentence.
I'm trying. You wouldn't have been so glad had you known your partner was a loony. I turned away. I've got to go.
So, did he possess Beth or whoever went first and then kill her out of jealousy? Like, ghost kill her through possession?
Oh.
Just throwing it out there.
Peter killed her? Ghost Peter?
Just throwing it out there, Ghost Peter.
Oh, because he was lonely.
Yeah.
Oh. He wants her to be his ghost lab partner.
His ghost lab partner for...
Oh, damn.
For eternity. I've been loony. I turned away. I've got to go. He stood quickly. Where are you going? To see what it can tell me about myself. You're Alec Baldwin? He grabbed my shoulders from behind. No, Shari. You don't want to know what will happen. I didn't fight him. I just let myself fall back against his chest. I took him by surprise. Isn't that a song? But then he wrapped his arms around me, and I was able to hold his hands and mine close to my heart, my ghost heart. I could feel it beating still, even though it wasn't.
And I don't need to breathe.
For a few moments, we stood together in the middle of the silent street, and I remembered back to the week before the prom, my sophomore year, when I had purposefully bumped into Peter in the hallways at every opportunity when he was.
It's funny to picture her just like comically bumping into him like bumper cars, just walking.
In eighth grade, right?
I think something's wrong with this girl.
So...
I guess they were the same age, right?
I think she has an inner ear problem.
Well, they were this... Yeah, I think they were the same age when they were alive.
And then he died.
But then he died
when he was 15.
He was 16. And now she is 18.
Okay.
So we would assume his ghost is 16.
Yeah, we would assume. Okay. She bumped into him. Happy.
We have established she is a pedophile.
For a few moments, we stood together in the middle of the silent street. Back to the week before the prom, my sophomore year, when I had purposely bumped into Peter in the hallways at every opportunity. I had been trying to suggest to him that if he needed a date for the dance, I was available, but he hadn't asked me. He hadn't asked anybody. I had stayed home that night and read a book. I wouldn't have gone stag. I would have rather killed myself. He had probably gone for a ride on his motorcycle.
New theory.
Oh, wait, he did die on a motorcycle.
Oh,
New theory.
Yeah.
What is it?
He did intend to kill himself, and now he is punished with his current role.
Oh. So, like...
And that's why he's saying,
so Beetlejuice rules.
No, you didn't kill yourself.
I would know.
Because you would have been told what I've been told.
You didn't kill yourself because if you kill yourself, you're a civil servant.
Yeah.
Beetlejuice rules.
Yeah.
Okay. I realized what had been bothering me about our location.
Ooh.
Oh. You died right here, didn't you? I asked. Yes. He tightened his hold on me.
Yeah.
And rested his chin on the back of my head. It was my fault. I released his hands and let his arms fall by my side. I've got to know if it was my fault. It wasn't, he said in a soft plea in his voice. We'll see. I turned and faced him. I was scared, but I joked for his benefit. I hope it doesn't have my bad breath. She's talking about the shadow. Okay. I hope it doesn't have my bad breath.
She was talking about the what?
Alec Baldwin.
Okay.
I think Alec Baldwin does have bad breath.
And he probably does, yeah.
He seems like one of those guys who would be like a close talker, and you would really catch a blast of something.
You don't have a voice like that without having bad
You
breath.
mean big breath?
Hey, everybody, come over here.
Big breath.
Call back.
Hey, call back. You never
Wednesday.
You never had bad breath, Shari. How would you know? I kissed him quickly on the lips. You never got a chance to know. I stepped back. Goodbye, Peter. Don't try to follow me. I walked briskly up the road toward Beth's place. He let me go. I felt as if I was hurrying to my death. Bum, 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 bum.
No, it doesn't deserve that music. Hurrying to my death. She's already dead.
I know. Wow. That was crazy.
Man. John Walker, aren't you glad you joined us on this?
I would have to go
crazy
back
adventure?
and check, but I think this was the time that I was least able to get invested in any kind of narrative. And I think it was just the dream. I mean,
What are you talking about?
I find dreams. I mean, I don't find dreams useless and boring necessarily, but in general, I find dreams kind of like in fiction. I find that most writers don't do a very good job of evoking like a sense of dream imagery or the way your logic moves through a dream.
It seems like they're trying too hard.
Right,
Like
they
with the whole
like the
pipe
flippers.
and bubble imagery.
the flippers. Or they either do like the pipe and the bubbles, or they do like he's wearing a wetsuit for no fucking reason. It's just like
pipe and the bubbles, yeah. And
honestly,
they're too quick to be
feel-
like, huh, Freud.
Right.
Yeah,
Am I
like
right?
that's not how dreams fucking work, though.
Yeah.
For like
Yeah.
an actual person.
Yeah.
Honestly, I feel if you went back and listened to the earlier episodes, John Walker, you would be somehow less invested.
I don't know. I honestly, I feel like this was a good session to come on
This
to
picked up
because
steam again, finally.
Oh yeah, like the tedium of rehashing who went to the bathroom when. Like I still can't get past
Yes.
how much
Yeah.
time was devoted to that. And
Yeah.
I'm sure it's really disorienting to be like, I don't know who the fuck they are. Now I'm reading about their weird ass dreams. But it was definitely
the content
more
was
enjoyable.
great.
Yeah.
The content was great, but like the likability of characters has yet to improve.
Oh, and no one has been likable
I was
this
just gonna
entire
say,
time
yeah.
except for maybe Joe. I
The-
like Joe,
the-
but that's about it.
I feel like the most likable character is the alcoholic detective.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who
I don't
wasn't
really
in this,
care who
but
killed her.
But like
I just hope the guy does his job well.
he wasn't in this,
he
and
wasn't. We
I
mentioned
kind of
him.
wish he was,
Yeah.
but at the same time,
Yeah.
I'm like, maybe it was good that he wasn't, because I feel like if he was in this, he would have just been going over who went to the bathroom one again. Like,
Yeah.
I love.
I am
I'm
scared
really
to
curious
encounter
about this
him
bathroom
again.
stuff. I want to say
if,
Also,
listen
John
to episodes
Walker,
4 and 5
we
of
were
this
doing
fucking
him
series.
as Columbo.
Oh yeah, he's Columbo.
Yeah. It's
Oh, that
Columbo.
would you guys didn't get to hear my sad attempt at Peter Falk.
Yeah, exactly.
I would love to hear your attempt.
Because this character does the whole like like I've done my job. I'll do it, and then he walks away and he's like, one more thing. Yeah. He does that. He does that whole thing.
I just had one more question for you.
So what did you? Yeah, okay.
I wanted
so
to
what
say
did you
that I
think?
did look up the whole dreaming in black and white thing, and I found a couple, three. You know how you find a few things on the internet and you go, okay, well, who knows if any of that is true at all? But I found a few things. One is that currently it seems that about 12% of people dream entirely in black and white. But what it says is that studies from 1915 through to the 50s suggested the vast majority of dreams are in black and white. But the tides turned in the 60s. A lot of people think when color television and color movies became the norm, people were more likely to dream in color, which is strange.
Wow.
Because
That's
you would
weird.
think that like your waking life would be the thing that would inspire your dreams. But then again,
Yeah.
think about
Yeah.
what the way you receive dreams and the way that you receive television or sitting down to watch. I wonder if there's some commonality in the way
Yeah.
your brain functions when it's like
Yeah.
you're kind of passive. You know what I mean? Even though in your dreams you can.
Because your dreams are like your brain making movies,
Right.
and
But-
like making
Yeah,
stories.
well, especially the way like I experience them, and I feel like that has some weight. Or they were only ever interviewing 12% of the population.
Well, the other thing is, it says here that like the first statement you get without anything about television or like different times or it changing, they're suggesting that black and white dreams generally represent your lack of emotional participation in the dream. If you're dreaming in black and white, you're just not filling in those details because you're kind of not as invested. And when it's color and it's so vivid, that might indicate a dream that you're more like emotionally invested in or more participatory in. So.
That's interesting. I feel like I've never had a dream that I was passive.
And I've never had a dream that I can think of as black and white, like that I remember as black. In fact, I think I would even remember it. I would if I were to tell you a dream that happened in black and white, I would probably be filling in colors in my memory as I explained it to you because I wouldn't be thinking about that at all. You know what I mean?
If I had a dream that was in black and white, I feel like I would wake up and be like, I had a fucking black and white dream.
Yeah, it's really weird.
Yeah.
What does that mean?
That would be really jarring.
Yeah. I feel like all of my dreams are color.
Yeah.
I've never had a black and white dream, but also all of my dreams are like first person.
Yeah.
Like I am always in my dream.
But when I say passive,
things are always happening
you don't
to
sometimes
me or around me.
You don't sometimes think things are happening to you more so than you driving them, because I definitely feel like sometimes I'm kind of along for the ride of my dream versus being like the character who's doing something, you know?
Yeah.
Raising my hand here.
But I'm definitely always there.
Right.
I'm never like.
I would love
I feel
the
like I'm
lucid
never
dream.
Watching something, I'm always.
I think
I'm
even
always,
if
like,
you were just watching
experiencing
something, you would impose a first person narrative on that. You know what I mean? Even if you were a disembodied camera,
Realize how much
in your
damage
dream,
I could do if I could
you would
lucid
remember it
dream.
like you were there. But you know what
You don't ever have a lucid dream, Chris?
No.
Really?
It's always like the best way to describe it is like watercolors. It's mostly the feeling, and then I'll wake up and then immediately fall back asleep and then fall right back into it and pick up not where I left off, where some other fucking force of nature decides where my brain, which I have no control over, as has been illustrated multiple times in the history of this podcast.
I was gonna say, especially when we're dreaming, none of us have control over our brains.
And my brain likes to just torture me. And so yeah, it's just like it's mostly the emotion. And then I wake up feeling that emotion and then like feel like it's a memory. And then like there's always that like straight 30 seconds of after I wake up where I'm just like, did that actually happen?
Yeah.
And then over the course of that 30 seconds it's just like, wait, no, it didn't. You don't have the time for that to happen.
Do you ever have death dreams?
Several where like I came close to it.
But never like never the thing where like you wake up because you die in a dream.
I've never had like night terrors or even sleep paralysis, but I guess like the closest I came was I felt like I was awake in my bed and there was a scorpion on the ceiling that was waiting to fall onto me.
No.
And this was like back when I was like fucking like 16 or whatever. And
Peter's age.
And that was horrible. That felt terrible.
That sounds awful.
Also, I'm pretty sure that was like during like my worst bout of insomnia ever, where it was just like a week straight of just not being able to sleep consistently.
And it starts to blur for
Which
you a
at
little
that point,
bit. Like you definitely can feel
yeah.
sort of it's druggy feeling almost of just sort of like it's not.
Yeah.
But
the dreams aren't the worst part of staying awake that long. It's that your hair hurts.
I've never
When you
stayed
stay awake that long, your hair hurts.
Sounds awful.
I'm gonna have some weird fucking dreams
Yeah.
tonight.
I know.
After all this talk.
John, have you ever had a death dream?
oh yeah.
I'm sure everyone
Yeah,
has.
totally.
Well, I would think so too, but Chris says no.
I mean, I've had the dream where I kind of wake up from. See, I think that people like to impose dream rules that don't really exist. Like people talk about dreaming in black and white or color. People say if you die in your dream, you'll wake up, or what? If you fall, you'll wake up. I think that it's like I've had dreams where I died and the dream kept going, and I've had dreams where I died and the shock kind of snapped me out of it and I woke up. But I don't know if I actually remember waking up right after that, or if it's just like my memory of when I did wake up. That dream was still really salient, But I've definitely had a moment where someone came in and shot me, And I like lean against the wall and slump down to the ground. And as I was laying there, they shot me a couple more times, and I remember thinking, I'm already dead. Like they're shooting me, and I'm already dead. Like I remember having that thought of like, God, did they not know I'm dead already? You know, I couldn't move, and it was just this kind of, it was almost like a dullness that came over me.
Callback.
There might have been like a couple
shocking dullness.
But I mean, I remember sitting there dead thinking like that sucks and feeling betrayed. You know what I mean? I remember feeling like lingering after my death in that moment in my dream, feeling like, oh, wow, that sucks that I died that way. Like, so I definitely was sitting there just dead, but my consciousness was still sort of localized in that, like I said, that first person camera. I think sometimes you're just a camera and sometimes you're not, but I think that our tendency to impose a story on stuff, like, you know what I'm saying? If you had a dream where you were just a camera disembodied moving over a landscape, I think your mind would still say you were flying over the landscape, not that in your dream you were a camera. You know, I think that.
Yeah.
So I think I always personalize things, and I've had a few dreams that really stick with me because of like a moral decision I made in the dream that feels really shitty, and I don't know. It's like, what is my subconscious trying to tell me about me? You know, but I think it's just you're at your own whims when you're asleep, and that can be such a strange thing.
Yeah.
This is gonna sound really fucked up, but I think the way my brain works is that like if I died in a dream, that would be easy.
In a way, you mean if you actually
so
died, that would
my
be a great way
dreams
to
are
go?
like
Yeah.
no, like we're gonna keep him alive for the duration.
But I've also had night
there's
terrors and night paralysis a lot. I used to have it like regularly, like
really?
almost every night for a while. I would have like that waking up and like reality and my dream kind of blending, and then it just almost has completely stopped. So
What is the definition of like night terrors? Is it like do you wake up screaming? Because that's
No.
all what I always thought was like
not
night
really.
terrors.
It's like you're kind of. I feel like it's like. Well, I don't know. My sister had night terrors, but I was really young, so I guess I should let John talk because he actually had them. She would just kind of react to stuff as if she was awake, but she fucking clearly wasn't, and it was really freaky because we shared a bedroom.
I think there's some of that. It's like I would say specifically sleep paralysis and night terrors kind of go hand in hand, at least for me, and I know for a lot of people. It's like where you wake up and your body, your eyes open or your brain starts to wake up, but your body's not fully awake yet. And so you're kind of blending the sensation of what feels like being paralyzed with what's happening in the room. And so you're
not able to like.
But you create some
understand that the
story.
dream is
You go,
done.
oh, there's a person standing there. There's a reason why. I remember one time I was in my bunk bed in college, and because of the fact that there's like a bed frame in front of me, I was laying flat on my back, and I woke up and I had sleep paralysis.
Yeah.
And I looked down. I thought I was standing up and looking down at a hole at my feet. But I was actually laying in a bed looking at just like the bed frame at the bottom. But I remember seeing like my roommate had like a trunk with a bunch of wadded up clothes thrown on it. And it looked like there was like some kind of organic shape that was like climbing up this shaft towards me. And I couldn't move. And I think that's the other thing is that you can't move your body. And so your dream story is telling yourself a story where you can't move. So whatever's happening in your dream at that moment, if you do imagine something horrible, then you're paralyzed by it. So if you think there are people in the room, you feel like, oh, they have some hold over me, or if like so it's I kind of learned to just like take a few deep breaths and get over it. But the first few times it happened to me, I was like not sure I didn't have some kind of supernatural experience or something. It was,
God, yeah.
Because and you feel almost sheepish about talking to people about it. You're like, I
had that happen one time, but I'd already read about it enough to know what had happened to me after the fact.
Was it the old crone?
It was the old crone thing, yeah.
Which is like a universal fear. We all have
it's
that.
a universal, yes.
Yeah.
I had sleep paralysis. I don't really think I've ever had night terrors, but I had sleep paralysis the one time, and it was like the old crone thing where I'm frozen and there's like an old woman. And then I was going to say
Was she crouching on your chest, or was she just kind of leaning over you? Because
no, she was standing across the room, which was more fucked up, honestly, I feel like.
I've seen both.
Like watching me like
right.
across the room, like that's
yeah.
Honestly, like if I can think of
We're
the worst
just
thing
fucking
ever.
up Becca's
I'm
sorry,
gonna wake
I'm
up
so
in the
sorry.
middle of the night. I'm gonna wake you up. I'm gonna call you, John. I'm gonna wake you all up with me and have you call me back.
I'll sleep
to
with my
sleep
phone
again.
like right next to my ear, just
Becca-
in case. I'll be there for you.
Becca, just
Wake
know
you up,
that
asshole.
if I somehow notice my phone is ringing while I'm sleeping and it's your name, I will
No,
answer.
Becca, don't
I
do that.
appreciate
Don't do
that.
that. Pull us into your dream.
Oh yeah,
Yes,
pull
we
a
would
Freddy
take you down
Krueger.
with me.
Dream Warrior us.
Yes.
Yes, pull
Well, I
us
don't
in.
know what that means,
Oh
but
my
yeah.
gosh, wouldn't that be? That would
What's
be
Dream
the
Warrior?
dream.
Wouldn't it be?
Nightmare
I was
on Elm
about to
Street
say, I
3
would
is where they
hate to
fight
go through
against
that, but I would
Freddy
love
Krueger.
to team up with the
They're
three
like,
of
we
you
can only fight
against
them
Freddy
in our
Krueger.
dreams.
I'm gonna fight you guys. You're fucking putting the bad dreams in my head. You're the villains.
My one of my college roommates had a girlfriend who had night terrors, and I found this out because I was up late. I was awake. I think I was on the phone with my college girlfriend, and I just heard screaming. Like, in the dorm, I heard a woman screaming, and I was like, I've gotta go. I don't know, a rape is happening? Like, something horrible is going on. And I walk out, and my other roommate had opened the door and was standing there. And I walked up to him and with, like, an expression of, like, what the fuck on my face. And he very quietly kind of shushed me in a way that was like this has happened before. And it was a girl screaming, and then
cool.
Well, it was a girl screaming, and then it was my roommate screaming, and then my roommate basically woke up because his girlfriend next to him in bed was screaming. So he woke up going like, ah, 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 like, because she was screaming. And then he immediately was like, it's okay. And then it was a lot of like, it's okay, and like whimpering. And then after the fact, my other like college roommate was just like, she has night terrors. That's it. Not often, but it happens. I was like, oh. Someone could have warned me.
I woke up one time
that this is
trying
a
to
thing
tell
that could
Nikki
happen
that I'd seen a ghost.
Since I moved in with all of you.
And I was like saying, it was a it was a I literally was doing that. But in my dream, it was this weird, we were in this weird like lobby of this giant hotel, and I heard noises in the middle of the night, and I went down there to see, and like coming through the front, it was like a palatial, beautiful hotel lobby, and something like, I still couldn't describe to you what it was. I just know that.
Did the carpet look like my sweater?
I may have, but it was actually more dark. It was more like a different feel. It was more rustic and kind of a dark hotel. But like something floated through the doors that I instantly recognized as like an unrecognizable thing, but it was horrifying to me. Like it was like a little compact kind of creature. I mean, it wasn't like a boglin or anything, but I mean, it was almost like built like that. But I was like, I couldn't make out what it was, and it just came towards me, and I froze, and it floated through me. And in the dream, that froze me, and I couldn't move. And that's when I woke up. And I remember waking up with Nikki being like, and she was just like, shh, shut up, shut the fuck up.
All I was going to say earlier about...
That's fucked up, because when I wake up from like nightmares or any dream, really, all I ever remember is like the emotional feeling, not so much the dream itself. It's just like I wake up upset, and I'm just like, why the fuck am I upset?
I truly feel like I am alive somewhere else. Like, especially the other night, because I've had a few nights now, maybe 3 in a row of really bad sleep. And, like, I feel like I am conscious and alive somewhere else. And then I'm just waking up in bed like, oh, okay, I'm back here again.
You're traveling in your
And
dreams.
the-
You're obviously going to
well,
other
if-
dimensions, Bekah.
And like the other night, I really felt like
dream
I was
skipping.
still in the place where I was dreaming, like I was conscious and awake and alive and just like me there. But then I could also feel the bedroom.
Oof.
And then I woke up and I was like, this is gonna be a weird day.
Oh, no.
Please try to conjure me in a dream.
Chris, I'm gonna fuck your night up. I'm gonna conjure you tonight. You're not gonna like it.
If you can make me as aware as you are, and then like rip me into your head.
It's horrible.
Oh, man.
I wish
I'd
I
rather
could
be in your
fucking
head than mine.
You know what? We'll swap.
Yeah.
I'd rather see your watercolors than whatever the fuck is happening in my head.
Well, no,
I guess nobody wants into mine, I can
the
tell.
After effect.
Because of what I just said.
Well,
Yeah, I don't want your weird little boglin flying.
No.
through
Yeah,
me.
your
This was
boglin
weird.
dream.
I mean, this was
I feel like I really don't have like scary dreams, like ghost demon murder dreams. Like I don't have that kind of stuff, but like the thing that I have that's reoccurring that I've had, I guess my whole life, but at least my whole adult life, is a variation on very specific.
Analyze this.
It's a very specific thing. It's a variation on
Giant dicks everywhere.
huge.
I can't make
dicks.
I can't make sense out of it. I don't know why. I'm always
like,
dreaming
I don't
about
know why I'm
myself
seeing
with like
all these
giant
dicks
dicks in
and
and out of my
balls.
mouth.
We broke Chris.
That was the most me thing you could have said.
No, it's gonna bum
So
you
hard
out
to
when I tell you what it
interpret. I
actually
just
is.
don't know what to say.
No, because it's always a variation on there's a whole thing of like where you're falling, like dreams where like, oh, you're falling and then you die right before you hit the ground. And I like, it's not that I'm falling, It's that my body is moving too fast through space. And it's like some it's
like
not
you're
even that
flinging.
It's like I'm being flung, and it's not like I'm in a literal catapult and someone catapults me, but like that's the feeling where like my body has been flung through space. Imagine if you were like on the hood of a car and the car was going like a little too fast and then it stopped and then you were just like going too fast, like just your body. And like,
which you've done.
I was just thinking that you've literally done that.
Okay.
It kind of feels like you're bringing this on yourself.
No, I have done that, but
I've seen the video.
I have had those dreams before I did that, and I did that because of Death Proof, and that's a whole different story.
You just wanted to be Zoe Bell.
I just wanted to be Zoe Bell. No, it's a whole thing where like my body, but even still, like I've had variations. So like sometimes I'm literally flying through the air, not in a fun way, but in like I have been flung through the air like a bullet. So I'm falling and I'm gonna hit the ground eventually, and when I do, that's when I die. And then there's other variations where like I'm in a car, and the car I'm in is out of control, going too fast, like. It's skidding on the road like the road is ice, and I'm just like sliding, and it's just like a matter of time before I hit another car, and then I die. And it's always the same thing where I'm like, my body is going too fast, and I know it's just like a matter of time before I hit something and I die. And that's when I wake up and I'm like, huh. I don't know what that fear
like
is.
You're refreshed.
Like,
is what you made this.
Yeah, no. I wake up
brisk
like,
swim.
Another one.
Yeah.
Ooh, yeah, that's very nice. No, I wake up and I'm like, fuck, again. Why?
I don't know.
I haven't looked it up really. Yeah.
Why was
I
it
would
2
like to
feet
talk
above
to
the
a
ground going 300
dream
miles an hour?
psychologist.
You know, like
Yeah. That's my main like bad dream. I've had other bad dreams before, but that's like if I was to pick the reoccurring thing that fucks me up mentally, that's the thing that I've got.
I had a flying dream one time where I was like sitting in a chair that had like a parachute attached to it, and it was being towed behind a boat, like a speedboat, and it was a super long line, and I was way up in the sky. Like I was up so high that the vertigo was kind of kicking in, though. I was looking down, and I'm just sitting in a chair, and I wasn't strapped in or anything, and I was kind of holding on to it. And then the boat started to slow down, and I was slowly lowering, and when I looked down, I could gradually see that the waves are just churning with sharks. Like what looks like waves is actually like sharks, just like up and I'm slow. It was forever. I don't think I ever made it down to the water, but the dream was just me going like, "Oh, that boat's slowing down," and I'm just going like, "Woo," just slow. But I mean, it started at such a crazy height that as I got, I had a long way to go slowly down. That was one of those kind of nightmare things where you're like, I'm not in control of the situation at all, and it's like I'm about to just get eaten. But yeah, I don't remember. And it was kind of cold. I remember the sensation of being cold, kind of to your point, Chris. I do remember like the sense of what I was feeling.
My asleep thoughts are way more fucked up. But my awake, no, I think about that all the time, like just in my daily life. Like, and it's called thalassophobia.
Yeah.
And it's the fear of the deep.
Yes.
The fear of the deep. Is that also just like the fear
Killer
of the
whales
ocean, or
scare the shit out of me?
Because I'm
they're so
honestly,
massive.
I
know what you mean.
Kind of
like
scared of the
They're
ocean.
called the wolves of the sea.
Yeah, but they're also
Like-
so
like
they're just like when you actually see the proportions of one of those, like they're bigger than you kind of think they would be. They would be really scary to see one coming at you.
I don't even like dolphins, to be honest. They're rapists. They're like one of the only other mammals that kill for pleasure.
I think in the ocean
They also
it's
get high.
scary because like you're at the top of the world and everything else is like aware of you, but
I am not.
but
at
you're
the
not.
top
But I'm just saying, like you're floating. It's like if the ocean is a world, you're floating at the top of it, and everything inside it is aware of you, and you're not aware of it. You know, like that's the thing that's like really scary.
I'm
pretty
above
fucked
the
up, though.
crust by circumstance. Not through any fault of my own.
waves scared the shit out of me. Like big
Well, I was
waves.
just thinking, and I didn't know if I should share it because we should probably wrap this podcast up.
Yeah, for sure.
I like where we
We're
went
talking
though.
But
about,
it's
like,
getting real
main
good at the end.
Recurring bad dreams.
Yeah.
Like my main recurring bad dream is like the biggest fucking insane wave ever.
No.
Like
Oh,
skyscraper
no.
high, and
No.
I'm right fucking there, and I can't go anywhere. I can't go under it. I can't go. I can't run from it. It's just like the biggest wave, and it just keeps gathering,
No.
and it never falls. I just wake up and just like fucking terrified.
That's awful.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah,
I've never had that
that's
dream.
a wake
but, like,
time for me.
Well, I mean, the ocean's fucking scary.
Well,
I think
yeah.
it freaks us all out. You know, we're not supposed to be in it.
Right.
You know,
No.
it's got a mind of its own. It's got a world of its
That's-
own.
yeah.
Like
Yeah.
John was saying, like it's a whole other goddamn world on
Yeah.
this planet. We don't belong in it.
You're right, though. We are not supposed to be in it. And when we
Yeah.
get in
I
it,
just
it's
don't-
like, get out.
Keeps throwing us back out again.
I just don't know. Like with like my whole hang up with a like a tsunami is like
My
the hang
one
up
big
of
beef
whether
with
I'm gonna
tsunami.
die.
If I was to pick my one big hang up with the tsunami,
Like I can't tell if it's like, oh, I'm definitely gonna die, or it's like, so what the hell am I gonna do for the next 2 minutes?
Yeah. You've
watching
got time
it
to
come
watch
kill
it.
you.
And
The dread is part
and
of
my
it.
anxiety is such a way to where it's just like, well, it's like I have to react in some way.
How
But
fast
what
can you kill
do
yourself?
I do for these 2 minutes?
You know what I would do?
Before this tidal wave
Jerk off?
kills me.
Dance.
Just dance.
Dance. Oh, that's pretty great.
That's really nice.
Yeah,
We
that's
should
nice.
end on that note.
Let's on that note, thank you
Or
so
just
much.
like shout, "Fuck yeah!" But like stretch it to 2 minutes.
Yeah. Thank you so much for coming on this episode, John.
Thanks for having me.
It ended really great.
It was a good ending. Yeah.
Turned into a
I'm
therapy
calling you
session.
all.
I'm
Calling you all at 2:30 in the morning.
Yeah.
I'm
Now,
calling
bring
it
me
right
to your
now.
dream.
2:30. I'm gonna
2:30.
fucking wake up.
Wake me up.
I'm gonna wake.
I tell you
I
to.
will try to wake you up, but you don't wake up. You're like a fucking dead person.
I will literally turn my phone off silent
Like-
tonight for you.
I'm violent. I'm mean to you, and you're snoring, and it doesn't work.
I hope that we
And
get
Chris,
pulled
I-
into
I-
Bekah's
I-
dream
I
tonight,
will-
and that we team up and form like a dream soldier.
Dream
form.
Warriors is what I'm saying.
Yes.
Yeah.
I was trying
Like
to avoid
Dream
using
Voltron.
branded
Avengers.
nomenclature,
Dream
but yes, we could become Dream Warriors together. What would your dream power be, Chris?
Did you freeze or are you thinking?
No, I'm
He's thinking. I see him blinking.
You say, in my dreams, I would be a wizard, or whatever that guy says in Dream Warriors.
Yeah, sure.
Fucking seen We're not doing
that's
Dream
the
Warriors
easy
in my
answer.
dream. I have not seen Dream Warriors. I don't know what you're talking
It's
about.
just the name. The premise is all we're really working with. This is like a total reboot.
Do they all
Becca.
have? Do they have powers?
Yeah, they manifest their own powers. Because their
My-
whole
my-
thing is
my
like, if he
powers
can do it, we
in a
can do it.
dream
We can
And
beat
that's like
Freddy.
to fight Becca's
Isn't Dream Warriors the one
demons.
where he's like in the TV and he's like, "Stay tuned, bitch," and that's when he starts doing the whole like "bitch" catchphrase.
Yes, no, the beginning of Bitch was definitely part 3.
You can run, but you can't hide, bitch.
Welcome to prime time.
my
Yeah,
my
yeah. that's what it
my,
was.
my
I threw a little
my-
southern twang
my
on him
dream
that time.
power.
Tell you what, I like Southern
Yeah.
Freddy
Hey
Kreuger.
y'all, hey y'all, bitch.
Y'all. Hey y'all, bitch.
My dream power to
called
keep
for a
Becca
knife and
safe in
bitch.
her dreams would be projected invisibility.
Projected invisibility, so
What
you can
does
make
that
I could
mean?
make.
other things.
I'd be able to make you invisible, so that anything that was going after you in the dream, and then I would get brutally murdered.
It's a terrible power.
It's an awful power.
I felt really on the spot.
Very good.
It's just like what would be my dream power? It's just like I don't know. Anything I can think of is very self-serving.
Right.
It doesn't really help.
I mean, clearly
Becca.
Becca's dream power is pulling people into her
I
dreams,
appreciate
which I
it.
think was one of the
Yes.
powers in the movie as well.
That
so.
is, yeah. Oh, okay.
What my dream power would be like jackhammer
Fireballs.
Jackhammer hands.
hands. So like my hands.
I don't want to know what kind of dreams you think we're talking about.
Like E Honda.
You
the
have
Street
misread
Fighter,
the
where it looked like
situation.
several of
This is
them.
not the kind of
It's
group
for-
dream
Aren't
situation.
we? Aren't we battling something? If my hands are both jackhammers.
You're right. That's a good idea.
No, wait, no.
Your name could be Jack Hander.
Mine. The ability to throw you into a much more mentally stable person's dream.
Yes.
That's insulting.
I know.
You're as mean as I was when we started recording.
No, it's not like my dreams are any better, and also it's just to send you somewhere. It doesn't mean I get to go there.
Yeah, you can just throw her into one of my dreams. As I told Bekah the other night, I dreamt that I found a monkey.
What?
I dreamt.
What?
And somewhere a monkey woke up feeling found.
Since when do people have happy dreams?
I dreamt I found a monkey. So you remember those monkeys that you would get from like the nature company, and they were like stuffed, and they had Velcro on their hands and feet?
Yeah.
Okay. So I dreamt that I found a real live monkey that basically looked like one of those monkeys.
And he had Velcro horribly.
No, he didn't. No, he didn't have
hands?
Velcro.
Squeeze,
He was a real monkey.
save me, Jonathan, squeeze.
He was a real monkey, but he had
say
the.
squee. I don't think
He did not say squee. I think he probably said like. But I found a monkey like in the woods, and then I brought him. I brought him home, and then as I told
If
Bekah,
you found a monkey in there, that's a jungle. I don't think that's I don't think those were woods.
No, he was in the woods. I'm telling you what my dream was.
Okay, sorry.
Found a
It was a
monkey in the woods.
lumberjack monkey.
So it was the beginning
He's a lumberjack
of
monkey.
the movie Outbreak.
He
A lumber
had
monkey.
long limbs, a lumber monkey, and I brought him home, and I knew that he had to go out at night to hunt bugs and shit to eat, so I would have to leave a
And
window.
It gave you the Motapi
I would have to
virus.
leave a window open high up so that he could leave at night.
But did you make little outfits for him? That's
But
all
the-
we really want to
the
know.
The cats wouldn't get out. That was a concern I had in my dream. Was like, we got to leave a window open. I don't want
Did
the
Cuba
cats
Gooding
to
Jr.
get out.
fly a helicopter in your dream?
What are you referencing?
Outbreak.
Oh.
I'm telling you my pleasant monkey dream.
Oh my
Left a window open for him to eat at night.
Why can't I remember dreams like that? This shit isn't fair. This is a rigged system.
All right, we gotta go.
Yes.
Let's stop this. Thank you so much, Sean.
This ain't cool.
You can follow us on all the things that, I don't know, cactusrodeo.com/podcast. Subscribe to our shit. That's all I can say. We've gone so long.
Our new show, Dream Warriors, coming soon, where we just have people on and we just talk about fucked up dreams
Yeah.
we've had.
Yeah, it's great.
No, it's-
And we don't try to analyze them.
We just talk about it.
tell
It's
you.
The four
I'll
of
tell
us
you.
bringing someone on and trying to convince them to bring us into their dreams that night.
Yeah.
And we'll keep
I
going
honestly
until it
I
happens.
would love to talk to people about my crazy fucking dreams because sometimes they're just so fucking intense and insane, and I'm like, I guess I just have to live with this.
Yeah.
You definitely have more
And I
intense
just
dreams
walk
than
around
I do.
in my day, and that just happened to me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like, yeah, I tell you a lot of the time, but not like every time.
But it feels
Yeah.
so emotionally real. You're right that it actually will leave you, like you were saying too, Chris. It leaves you feeling weird sometimes because of that overhang feeling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Most of the time I don't remember specifics. I just wake up feeling awful.
I wake up
But-
having talked to like a dead relative or a dead friend.
Oh, that'd be so much better than the ones I do remember.
No,
No.
it's not.
No.
It's not. But we should stop talking about this now.
All right, but lucky for you, Bekah, we will have that podcast coming
Yes.
soon.
Thank
Dream
goodness.
Warriors under Cactus Rodeo.
John, is there anything that you want the people listening to this, if they're still listening?
I just want people to listen.
know-
Be a bi-monthly podcast.
know about you.
I just want people to listen to our new show, Dream Warriors, when it premieres. Yes, you can find podcasts that I
Premieres
make
tonight in your dreams.
You can find podcasts that I make under the name FYIZ if you go to your favorite podcast app. You can also find me on Twitter and on Instagram at Gianni W. That's GIANNIDUBYA. And my music is out there under the band name Sci-Fi. Go to Bandcamp, sci-fi.bandcamp.com for some stuff. There's actually something new coming soon, so get out there.
it's really
you have
good.
to
It's on
spell that,
Spotify,
though.
too.
Ooh, yeah. No, I'm legit, man. Spotify,
Yeah,
Apple
you're
Music,
legit. Yeah, you're not fucking around.
Amazon, it's there.
You have to spell sci-fi,
Yes,
though.
SIGHFIGH. You're right. People might think I mean like the
That's
normal
true.
way
Yeah.
that people spell that common phrase.
There
Take
have been
it from
times
me.
I've been drunk as shit trying to search it and have just been unable.
Yeah, take it from me, who had a comic called This Is 65 for 10 years and then misspelled Pop Sucket Theater in the way that I wanted to. And I have to correct everybody constantly, and I wonder, why am I not more famous?
If you're not doing something
of,
self-defeating
look at Pop Second Theme.
at every step, I don't know you. You know, it's
Well,
like that's the art I understand.
You already cursed yourself with Gianni W. And then you were like, I'll add sci-fi.
No, I want to be spelling things until I die. That's my goal.
We're not artists unless we're
just
spelling
like-
and explaining things.
Yeah, you like listing letters.
Yeah.
Fuck. All right. Thank you so much for listening. This was a great episode, and I enjoyed it. And we'll find out what happens next time. I hope she goes into more dreams, because this is insane. Find out what happens next time. Come back. We love you. Bye.
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 Below Grade Level is a Cactus Radio production. You can contact us at podcast@cactusrodeo.com. Subscribe and follow on iTunes, Stitcher, and Spotify, and follow Cactus Rodeo on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter for more entertainment and updates.